I like my voice had gotten to that, loud voice, some people call it projecting, whatever you want to call it. It's annoying when you talk loud, it's you like it's projecting, right? So, all projecting. But the initiative has been my baby for the last 13 years. So that's why I'm here, because the state of Georgia said, hey, this opioid epidemic is getting this big time. And so we need to start an initiative to combat that. Four parts to the initiative. There were five, but four parts. Education, prevention education, which is what I'm doing now, which I love to do most. And I'm not going to be on like, wow, I'm going to be doing this a lot, but as much as we want, we could. And then the next one is safe storage. These are medicine safes. Okay. So I get last year, people like Harry, Arlen Hack, and a bunch of other people, what I call ambassadors. So if you'd like to be an ambassador going forward, you get special things like you get first dibs on training about how they do. Okay, so I'm going to get you trained everything, right? So you get this first dibs on that. You also get first dibs on these. So I said, if you want to be an ambassador, take our responsibility. Yeah, I'll give you student, but this is a responsibility. You have to, and that's what's going to happen here. I can get your medicine sector. You've got to go to Tara, Gary, or myself. You have to scan this particular QR code. All right? Harry and Tara have it too. Okay, you've seen it too. But here it is. If you want, no, I'm not going to pressure anybody. Say, if you want one, then you come fill out the QR code. Once you fill out the QR code for the survey, you get the medicine sector. Those two big boxes right there were the medicine sector. Help you out, okay? So that's another gift. They all give you. I think that Tara and Gary, remember I said there was three things I want to make sure is accomplished as this working list goes, and that is survey the H2, that pre-assessment survey. And they've basically done that. Your name tag, that's going to be very important to help move things along and move me along. And when I started the training, okay, the workshop. And then the third thing was inspect the tapes. Is there anything else I forgot here? Oh, I share with them, hey, help me remember these. So do you want that to say? And it's QR coded. And okay, so any questions? I hear you. You just gotta do the old whatever, do your camera, do your thing.
Your summer page is survey.
No, that page two in your workbook. Okay, yeah, that was on your table. The QR code on your table is one about PCCG. Would y'all like me to say a word about that? So the question was, if it was what does it take to be ambassador? Just I want to partner with you. I want to collaborate. Because the fifth thing, I thought we medicine say that there's disposable, which if you're familiar with the drug drop boxes across the state, the council and myself are one responsible for those. About 95% of those, right? Now, the good news is I'm probably getting a pretty good amount of money, hopefully, that I'm gonna be able to install a bunch more of them, but they're gonna be liquid based. Now, if you don't know about drug drop boxes, disposable, then you go to the difference between a non-liquid based one and liquid based. I don't think I'm trying to read the time right now. So that's the third part of the issue. The third priority area. The fourth one is advocacy. Okay, so the ambassadors, they get the tip of the spear of all four of them. So if I'm looking to do some advocacy or push some advocacy across the state, you're going to get me on saying, hey, you're the local good chief. Of course, okay, those don't probably most my experience of 37 years of doing this, about 15 of that, or 16 of that was working for Georgia Academy and Family Connection Partnership. So I was Georgia Family Connection Partnership when Georgia Academy went away in 2001. Gay Smith, the leadership at the Georgia Family Connection, hired me from Georgia Academy, even though I served the collaborative for 2 years. They hired me to come on board and sell more through the training that assistants across the state. Now, why have I involved with this? Well, when I started the initiative, And it's the problem, once you cover the entire state, the entire, age range, I said, oh, I got a good problem. Because I, for, bathrooms, how much you want, executive director, coordinators, right? And so I developed this, was loyal to them, and they were loyal to me. Page Williams, Christy Brandt, I go on and on about people still there. But I call them and say, hey, I'm gonna offer this training, would you want to host one? Or I've got, 1,000 medicine savings. How many do you want? And I'll drop ship them to you. And see what's there. And I got 20 drug drop boxes that I need to distribute. These drug drop boxes. They go into like pharmacies, law enforcement, so on and so forth. Okay. And like you're gonna get first dibs. And then like any kind of advocacy, like maybe I've got a senator or whatever, rep that wants to talk to, some food and shakers, we can maybe, get some word out about from policy, Now I'm not a big policy person. You may be, that's great. Have at it, okay? I'm not a policy person. Does that make sense? Anybody else that loves legislation and policy? Anybody else that nobody loves policy. So you're not going to be attracted to the advocacy area, are you? You're not going to be attracted to that of the four. Remember the 4 legs? The 4 legs are one member. Remember? The prevention education, sure, transient now. Safe storage, which is the medicine safe. And there's other things you can go away from short medicine. Like the gun safe, or whatever the documents say, whatever you want to call it, right? And then disposal and then habits. So if you want to be a master, all you want to really do is just help out distributing the medicine savings to at-risk populations or high-risk populations. Big great. Let me know. And I'm going to work. If you're really excited, well, there's not a lot of you. I'm doing this training right now, but I'm starting, clock goes real time. I'm going to hit it like 120, 200 miles an hour. Okay, I'm moving on. Now I'm gonna hope to stick to the book as much as I can, but it's a workbook. Okay? Have you ever read something you got a workbook in? Did you complete the entire workbook while you were in the field? No, that's not design of the workbook. Design the workbook, which give you some kind of ideas that and that's basically marketing, it's all. Okay? So I'm not to be able to trust that hey, I know how, what's in the book, I'm the one that does. Okay, I'm the one about this whole achievement, right? So but my goal is for the masters. Like the masters can get excited on some education. I'm gonna decide on this now. If you really like this, or maybe just one portion, and you really like to share that to your community or your region, then you're going to come a second time. I already got 4 scheduled for October. Well, maybe you can call it 6. Like I'm having new 2 sessions for the storm. I'm doing 13 sessions twice now. So we're going to move it. So that's about off. That means Jackson out. So one's very south, one's very north. Okay. So I'm happy with this. Now I'll 6 in October. So let's say you really like this. You want, I want to come one in October. Where those things are going to be. One's going to be Henry County. I don't know where Henry County is. But 137 off 15 block over Henry County. That's ironclad. So let's say that you want to take this to your local community, this training, or maybe one will be fortunate. So you can come to that, you're going to talk. You're going to attend this now, real discipline. And you're going to come the second time, you're going to audit. Every other audit means? You're participating, but you are with me when we are doing this together. Right? Now we all an opportunity to give you a little piece of it in front of the group that's there now. Then the third section is you want to train the trainer. Okay, I'll train the material, content some degree, but my expertise actually is being trained, and you'll have your own judgment and you'll decide how to train it design. That's perfectly fair. Okay. You may not like my style at all. You may not like some of the things I say or what I do. That's totally your problem. But I've earned like the certified level 3 trainers. Process very, very, very well. I'm a level 3 trainer from City of London, because I'm also a level 3 trainer. Now I'm trying to be that question. I'm trying to take that and say, I'm not just like offering a trainer because I'm doing training. Like a lot of people. How many people know that you're doing training? How many of you done training? Okay, did you work business this way at work? When you want to train, when you do your training, hey, Latoya, hey, you're awesome, what you, what you? What was Latoya? She recorded it all on. Son tells me was awful. And you stop paying into the order to reach. So what I need to do with my stop out inside is I need to go train on how to get that sport. Oh, I know what, you know what? There's so many big people in the region. I want you to train in all kind of sport. How many people like that? That's how they pay trainers. Now, is that a bad thing? I think it's better to do it that way than not do it at all. However, those of us like me, when I was doing social services back when I was back, I was a child investigator from 88 to 92, 87, 92, in Lake Fayette County. I was looking around like, these people are trainers, they don't know. They ain't got them. And they're reading off the slides. No, that kind of overhead. Remember overhead? Okay, there was a projector. They had a projector with that big old monster thing up, and they go to it. I would. I've been told it's about another retarded. About middle school. Oh, I didn't have school. Mild not retarded. ADD because they didn't have engagement then. And dyslexia. You're not stuck. Okay. So when I was an adult at 20, whatever, right? 24, 25, 27, whatever. And they would come to trial for trainings. And they would have a stack of overheads like that. I instantly started having massive anxiety. Because all I could think was, I got to take notes on all this. That's me. I'm trying to stay away. Maybe I got trouble staying away from trainings. Okay. So so you're probably not going to fall asleep when you're visiting this experience. Probably not. Okay. It's rare. And if you do, you know what? I want you to sleep. To sit next to somebody that can hold you up, not in that seriously. Okay, so as a trainer, I'll train you as trainer of trainers. These kind of nuances. Like I don't set ground. I don't have to. See, if you're great at applying inductive learning, and you decide you want to be a trainer, I'm just going to give you a little tidbit if you like it. What you're going to do is you come to this 6-hour session. It's going to be 6 hours. Because I'm going to use 3 hours of basically building some capacity, some big head exercises. Then the last 2 hours are you going to teach you back a section of those 3 hours. You go with me? And with me and all this going to say here's fortune. See, the problem is, Latanya is going to go train all of them against coordinators, but she's not letting them train. She's not letting them forces to help them training correctly. Professionally, scientifically. She doesn't know CNC. She doesn't know how to read the group. She doesn't know how to set the room. I mean, do you think I set this room up by just like having things? Everything is set for a specific reason. The angle of tables, those kind of buildings sitting at the end, it's like that. And my goal is really not to have anything like this. I don't even like that. I like to have it where that makes you push back out that little more. So you're not looking at anybody's back of their head. People like back of their heads. Right? You don't have to watch training. They don't know, but actually, what your blind experience when you have somebody sitting like Lawrence is sitting there looking at his son's head. System. It's just like stairs at night or maybe during the day, and you can feel like somebody's following you, your hair stays on the back of your neck, your brain, your total is off some about maybe too much about some people. Okay, but it drives everything I've said, addiction, 100% is in your limits. I all pay. But right now, Sun's limbic system is not quite relaxed because it senses that Lawrence behind people behind the middle. And that helps. But you love it that much. You do is you can't tell David right now. She can't tell David right there. Don't worry about that. Because anybody's job is to look for risks. So it's like so like if there's a spider, anybody don't like spiders? If there was a spider in this room, the people who don't like spiders, they're literally your living system will go. Now, if you're like me, I don't care. Listen, it's all whatever. You know, my wife, I mean, she gets within 100 meters of us. You know, she can smell it, you know, like what, you know, but that's the limits. But watch it, so you don't get distracted by that. That's also addiction. That is where addiction. So we talk about that. But anyway, so I just want to go to the addiction. If you like, you know, the content in particular, yes, but also to the opportunity to go and share, build capacity in your region, in your community. They just you don't want to get outside 20 miles. And Brent, I want to help you because I really enjoy this. I do. I love this. Now, y'all train. Human beings train. I get my energy by doing by myself, creating, building, in fact. But I love this because I want to have a positive impact. That's why I got into psychology, study it, got consultation. That's why I drive for more miles to do the 2 hour training, whatever it's, you know. Because I want to see people that, and I want to see people that really train with confidence. And know how to literally create an environment to do so that each individual learning what they need to learn. Because everybody gonna learn the same thing in here. Is everybody gonna learn the building? Unfortunately, a lot of times trainers base their success based on everybody wants the same thing. And everybody get it. See, the others would get things that studies not done. See, primarily because of the experience that they come into. Sometimes the negative experiences keep you from learning or keep you from growing. So that's my offer to you. Additional to that is if you're interested in becoming I'm an ICPS, I think Harry ICPS. Harry's an ICPS is an internationally certified prevention specialist. So what is this training about? Drug abuse prevention training. Now, really, was really tough prescription drug. That kind of science. Like, oh, it's just about no. Listen, your brain doesn't know the difference between prescription drug and opiates and whatever, right? You know, street drug or whatever. So, think of that content. So we're Sherry and I and Tara's working on this. Yeah, or you are.
I'm working on it.
She working. Okay, and I'm doing that. I'm gonna go. Okay, so this is the highest level, or the only place in Georgia I think you get certified. And every state has their own prevention portion. This is Georgia's. Okay, you can click on this QR code and visit the website and tell website you can get a very nice email back from Laurie Russell, she's really good, and then she'll start doing the and myself and Terry are here to help you also on that journey, right? To become prevention certified. The funding going forward, definitely for the opiate crisis. They are looking for, guess what? Certified preventionists. See, because right now the market is saturated with people who want to treat with degree. We're trying to think, Narcan. But what about primary prevention? Now, do you do prevention within harm reduction? Yes. Do you do prevention and intervention? Yes. Do you do prevention and treatment? Yes. How about recovery? Yes. Treatment, prevention, of course, will continue. But where is it most effective and gets the most bang for the buck? Primary prevention. Let's stop it before it starts. I got a little exercise, not moving that. It's called the prevention disease paradigm exercise. Some of you are not liking it because it actually requires physical movement. Or maybe actually lack of movement to move to. But that'll be one person you do when you want some time to start. You got about 17 months. I'm gonna shut up, let y'all have your rest of your time each one. Kind of tighten your grocery list or or your shopping list, right? Everyone shopping later. Or you probably got to do list, right? List, yeah. Okay. So now we've got the questions between now and 17 minutes. So 17 minutes is, I gotta go 1 miles an hour, 2 miles an hour. No, okay. All right. Here to section training aspects, and there'll be some workshop aspects. The thing I'd like to do more than anything is like, I can have to start a conversation about this topic. Of course, in order to create a conversation, you've got to have some idea of the conversation. So I'll lay that, out for you, and you'll soon up be in some conversation with each other. Of course, the title says drug abuse prevention training for community professionals, having solutions focused conversation. Yeah, that's the title. It may take some different terms. So one of the sessions a couple times ago, there's some comment shooting about school shootings. You know, can this kind of stuff help prevent school shooting? Absolutely. Okay. Suicide, that comes up quite frequently. You know, you go to suicide by opiates or suicide by whatever. All right, that comes up. And this is information does prevention actually address that? Yes. So although my contract I'm coming to you with, who is from DBHCD, they're the ones that are sponsoring this, they're the ones that's funding this. DBHCD, the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities. The reality is that prevention is prevention is prevention. Violence prevention, pregnancy prevention. All of what's being offered here applies across the board. Now there's still a lot, of course. You know, you change from suicide to obesity prevention. You know, I got Dunlop disease, my belly don't lump over my belly, okay? Or chest and drawers, ever heard of that one? Chest and drawers and chest and drop over your drawers? Okay. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, you know, I love food. Y'all love food? Okay. You know, I was already thinking about how many of those hot stuff I can take home. So, you know, it's like, you know, well, that, maybe I'll take it home. They got the like, hope they tried. So now some people, I mean, maybe like 0.4, so I'm gonna buy that. Okay. But yeah, so I mean, I think with it. But and I think love chips. I've never got a chip I don't like. They don't like meat too. They like meat so much they eat the whole bag. Okay. Now, what's that to prevention? What does that do to drug prevention? The same things are going on my brain when I'm seeking my drug, my Doritos or Cheetos. It's cheese. Not fun. I like a little stuff in my pizza. I like crunchy. Does anybody else with me? Now, the hot ones I like this too, but they don't like my stomach so much. All right. So, but I eat the whole bag, and I'll get the family size so that I can share with everybody. Right? Now, how does that work? I share with me, myself, and I. Right? So the same things I do to prevent you from eating chips nowadays are the same things that work with drug abuse. Like one of the things I do, I do not bring them in the house. They do not come to my house. If they come to my house, like my four little children, they bring chips to the house, they have to leave with the chips. You know, throw chips. Do not leave them in the house. I will call you up to your car and throw them here. Okay? So I mean that. All right, so prevention. I got something back. And rightly so, I want to hear that it's like we talk about some things, okay? And like, how much I think that relates to prevention. I promise you, I am not going to tell you something, give you something here that does not directly relate to prevention. Even my story sometimes. Okay, I would use stories, a lot of stories. I would like to use your story. The problem is if I try to get you to tell your story, that may be a little uncomfortable. But I can tell my story. So please forgive me for having to tell stories. If you know, sometimes like it sounds like I'm just trying to help myself. I'm not, I'm trying to use myself as an example. All right. So prevention. You got 31 pages. You're not going to go through every page. I'm not going to go through every page. You can go through every page. I'm going to skip around. The first probably 15 pages, I'm going to try to stick to like going literally. But then I'm going to skip around. It's only 3 hours to run together. This is actually, I designed it 6 hours. But I was told that when I contacted the host, they said, John, we can only give you 3 hours. So I've gotten 4 hours one time, and that worked really good. I mean, it was better than 3 hours. So, but basically my goal is to get you through this. Let me stop there. So I'm about to go to something. They check. Let me morning check. Let me give you this one first. Sorry, go ahead. And the warning is this. There's viewer, listening, and implementation discretion is advised. I'm going to say some things. You don't have to listen to everything I say. If I'm starting to kind of annoy you, will or whatever, they just go off into wherever range you want to go. Go to Florida, go wherever you want to go, and then maybe you'll come back when you're ready. Okay? Because I'm going to say some things that's going to be challenging. I'm going to say some things that you're going to say, not me. That's okay. So take your life, watch the rest of it, just ignore it. All right, so here are the training goals. One or two people, anything up there particularly proud. One or two people, what maybe it's like you want to say something, you want to look, but like. What? Solutions. Who's ever heard of solution focused approach? Okay, if I throw out things that are not in the book, I'm going to say it and say it's not in the book. So if you want to research something afterwards, very powerful when it comes to prevention or treatment, right? Then solution focused approach. It's an approach that lady named Kim Berger and her husband wrote and actually have explained for her. It's an approach to getting people to take action in difficult situations. It is based on what? Solutions. So we'll definitely talk some about that thing. We'll talk actually, I'm sorry, Faith. I misspoke. I'm literally going to talk about several solutions. Like one of them is access. Did you hear that? So how do you decrease people overdosing? You decrease their access. You ever heard about those medicine safes over there? Let me tell you about those medicine safes. What does that do? That decreases access. When access goes up, what happens to misuse and abuse and addiction? You follow me? If you give me access to chips, like you don't know. I mean, I didn't hide those pictures right there last night. I would both go back. Right? I'm hopeful my baby brain, that limit system will leave those chips. So I can take them home. I'm a dater. Okay, I will leave. The big component of prevention is what? Access. Think about that in connection to what's going on right now in our current society. About access to marijuana, access to THC products, access to alcohol, access to cocaine, access to methamphetamine, access to. There's states that are legalizing, they're decriminalizing all kinds of drugs. Oregon tried that. It backfired so bad. Now they're having to try to go down this direction. So if that doesn't tell you something, we have to be like to realize giving people access. Okay, and I can talk about the prescription drug without going off track here at all. I got in this business 13 years ago by way of contract, the Georgia Prescription Drug Use Prevention Initiative. Well, the problem is I got that initiative because the solutions were like non-existent with the prescription drug problem. Now I was hired, right? I was in this contract, and I keep throwing solutions out. You know what I keep saying? Well, you got something better. I got something better. I'm gonna take a look commercial here, okay? I'm gonna fast forward 28 pages. Y'all ready? You can go to page 25. Y'all want solutions? Faith want solutions? Go to page. I'm sorry. I want you to actually go to page 21. I misremembered the yeah. There you go. Roman numeral number 4. There. Look at the last Roman numeral. That's the last on the agenda, but really the most important when it comes to solutions. But watch this. Do I even talk about solutions before you really know the problem? If you think you're overweight, I already talked about working out and diet. No, I'm perfectly happy with my weight. Stop, yeah, stop. And I'm not even being denied. 7 forms of denial, right? Something about the late hospital to work. I may not be denied. I'm just an acceptance. Now I'm 240 something pounds. I'm happy with my 240 something. I love myself. I worked hard to get this. What are you talking about? No, with me. Don't tell me I need to lose weight. Buy your clothes. So I don't need to talk to you about your problem with prescription drugs if you don't think you're having. I don't need to give you a solution to prescription drugs if you don't think you have a problem with prescription drugs. Or watch this. I don't need to give you a solution to the marijuana problem, the marijuana thing. If you think marijuana is basically some sliced bread, what am I doing? I'm giving you a solution. So you don't even want a solution for. And this is what you do. You're an idiot. This is what I make them. Because of social media and a lot of other things, because some of our policies are, that are being agreed upon, like, let's just pass the marijuana, let's just make marijuana legal. Now, is this, how does this relate to drug use? I get called all the time, John, the answer to your opiate problem, Mr. Rayford, is you need to support us in legalizing marijuana. I get those calls, don't believe it, I'm going off the rail of marijuana, okay? You know what I mean? THC is the most corrosive substance to your brain that we know of. Because it binds itself to the myelin sheath, the fatty substance that wraps every neuron. But are they telling everybody that? No, it also destroys your ovaries. Okay, you have fatty substance, you have fat around your ovaries, which makes those viable. It goes to the bind itself, THC, not just smoking, drinking, eating, bind itself to THC, to the fat cells in your ovaries and kills them. How many times have you heard that? We're talking about prevention, right? We're talking about solutions. See, you need to have proper information to get proper solutions. So solutions, yes, I agree. Roman numeral 4. However, we need to lay it groundwork first. The problem with the solutions is that the values and beliefs that people hold keep them from agreeing with that solution. You're going to work on that first. So look at Roman numeral number 1. How many of you ever heard of the 3 levels of culture in prevention? Have you heard of it? I've been doing this a long time. I'm an ICPS. I run with other ICPSs. Most ICPSs haven't heard. Because once we get a prevention, we used to do recurrent training every 2 years. And it's the same stuff we keep getting. But they don't talk, there's not talk about this. The reason why, frankly, is because it gets too hard at the real problem. The real problem is not pharmaceutical. It's not the cartels. It's not any of us. It's us. It's us. It's us individually. We have this insatiable need to experience pleasure and avoid pain. Now I'm going to get to that in Roman numeral number 3. See how the number 3 affects Roman number 1. So that remember I told you all this is a 6-hour course. We'll try to do 3, but I'm not even going to do it. Okay, so can you see what you as much as you can. Okay. All right, I'm offering my heart, my peace, my encouragement. Okay, so just relax. Let it get a little smidgen like Johnny. He's like, I got 2 words. That's it. You're good. You just write those 2 words down and then go research it. Okay, or we can have another conversation some other time. I'm available all the time. All right. I did go fast going through this. Now, just what our society, our systems are set up. Are they set up for disease or prevention? That's right. Yeah. And now you're gonna be ready. I want everybody to stand up. Please stand up. Push your chair back. Get you a good little example in the chair. Now I'll make one caveat, okay? And that is, what I'm asking you to do, if you physically can't do it, then don't participate, and then a bad thing happens, like you fall and hurt yourself. Right? However, if you can't do it, you can't do what I'm asking you to do, then that's just stand there, stand up straight, okay? Stand up, don't participate, and then there's going to be I'm going to do something else with that. Okay, so for right now, I want you to stand, I want your seat to sit behind you like this. I would demonstrate, all right? You're taking your seat. Some of you already got it. Yeah, some guys. You're gonna stand like this, see right behind you, right? Now, you're gonna take, now, I'll go like this, but you can do what I use martial arts. You're gonna go like this, and you do not sit down. You go right to the side, right, and you're gonna stay there. Yeah, you can go there. Stay there. Don't touch the seat. Don't cheat. Don't cheat. Don't rest. Don't eat those chips. Don't eat those chips. That's true. No, don't get that water. Don't get out of the back. No, stay there. Don't try to go up. I say there's long as you can. As long as you can, and then when you can't stay any longer, sit down. When you can't stay any longer, sit down. Just sit. When you can't stay any longer, sit down. Right. Hey, what you're seeing right now is prevention. That's prevention, right there. It's prevention. Watch it. Finger. Right? And some of them maybe be sustained for now. But then eventually you're gonna sit. Right? When you cheat, you're cheating. Stand up. So these ladies, okay, these ladies all are looking stick out. They're saying that they're child will pop, so they don't do things like but it's nothing to them, okay? That's why I want to talk about pain, women are given understanding of pain, and then they generally speaking. That's not, I'm not trying to show this, right? I'm just saying, let's just be real about that, okay? So, okay. That's right, just sit there, okay? So, yeah, you may go about take more time. Applaud them great, they're resisting life, but eventually they're gonna sit. They're gonna sit. They can do that, right? So here's my point. One of the big points here is this. Prevention, God has permitted, like you start prevention and you never do anything else. No, I still eat a chip every once. You can sit down. Go sit down. Okay? Go sit down. Oh, you're not done yet. Yeah. Okay, so sit down, sit down. So this is to me, it's the most powerful experience I've experienced in doing this work, all right? Because you just experience prevention. Now, the prevention was you were being prevented from what? Sitting down and getting a relief. See, because that was painful. And then we were like this, like literally, we were doing a scan in your brain called the limbic system. Okay, and that part of your brain, and the neocortex too, but the primary limbic system, the perfectly positioned middle brain. If you would have seen chemicals being released that were pain receptive, that would be like, this. Or for some of you that you can try it, that limbic system, that don't even try that. Don't even try that. You're gonna fall on your head, or whatever, your knee's gonna blow out, whatever, right? You see what I'm saying? So your limbic system is there to protect you, but it's all constantly addressing pain and pleasure, pain and pleasure, pain and pleasure. Along with that, trust, mistrust, mistrust. So like some of you, like when I was doing the rest, you're like, oh, trust this guy. So you kind of look around like, well, I guess you trust him. I guess I'll do it. Try, right? We're in control of that? No, it's automatic. See, so prevention is not, watch this, prevention is not natural. Natural is to do what? Either pay a chip. Natural is take a 10x. Natural is drink the beer. Natural is drink the second beer, the third beer, and the fourth beer, and the fifth beer. And now what's happening? I've become diseased. Right? See, when you live in a state of just sitting down, you're going to get disease. Mentally and physically disease. We've got society because they're sitting down. And I don't mean necessarily just physically, literally, but mentally, they're sitting down. Prevention is the hardest work. I've literally done it all. I've been fortunate in my career to start in an inpatient drug treatment with adolescents. Working on adolescents in major hospital. I've done treatment and recovery. I left there and went to intervention. I was hospital service investigator in Clayton County, Bay, almost 5 years. Senior investigator at some of the worst cases, the states that I've seen it, particularly in our region. Okay, part of the team, people that did like political figures and whatever. Believe it or not, Delta pilots. Okay, if you're a Delta pilot, you got a referral on you. Our team was the one that did it. And I'm not even getting calls to that. But anyway, so that's that. I did that. I did that. I studied 148 families of my families. They gave me permission for me to learn from it. And I wrote my master's thesis on that. So I've done treatment. I've done intervention in the most severe situation you can imagine with children and families. And then I started training in '92. And so I've been blessed to have that experience too. What an incredible blessing about it. There's a lot of practitioners that haven't been blessed out free to be filled every day for like 15 years of conversations and practitioners. I was being fed, so I could spend 92 to 2008 with being by myself doing investigations or doing treatment, all I'm saying? But no, I got a blessing. I don't want to pass on other people. Listen, but I'm sure what I've learned, not just from 37 years ago, I'm talking about when I started training every day almost with the experience for me to learn from 35. And you know what they told me? They said, John, prevention is the hardest thing. What I'm doing, intervention, that's easy, but that is not that hard. Because I get to my intervention then. Treatment. But prevention spans the whole continuum. Do you do prevention and recovery? Yeah, it's called prevention of death, right? Prevention of relapse. How about treatment? You do prevention and treatment? Yeah, it's called prevention of death. How about harm reduction? Yeah. Another word used for prevention is risk reduction. When you're reducing risk, you're also preventing. So prevention is, I mean, it's so much better than beginning because it's the same flavor of being sick. You can literally not have any sickness at all. Now, not disease. You're going to experience disease because the word disease means not at ease. So not only get full-blown disease like heart disease, but sometimes my heart gets broken. How about yours? That's disease. Sometimes I get anxiety, temporary anxiety. That's disease. What's not ease? Our most powerful tool is our brain. It's what we think. It's also the ability to control your emotions, which that's the main solution thing that I talk about. But I'll go over. If you look at page 21, number 21. So if you start looking through that after page 21, start talking about emotional intelligence. Now, it's a smattering of emotional intelligence as we go through the material, even the first 50 pages. But the real heavy coverage of that is not until page 23 or something. And it's going to be really fast. Those of you who go to the Georgia Family Connection Partnership Conference, I'm doing a whole session on emotional intelligence and prevention. And after this training is over, say Georgia, I already asked them, we're negotiating. After this training is over, I'm going to create a series of 3 trainings. Emotional intelligence in brain science, emotional intelligence in emotional intelligence in integrative medicine, and emotional intelligence in prevention. So this is one I'm doing. It's going to be that's the third one, emotional intelligence prevention. Yeah. So without prevention, I really don't have anything. I don't. Because really, if we take away prevention, what are you going to get? More treatment, more recovery, more harm reduction. And what are the numbers going to do? When you live in that space, what are the numbers do? They may fall a little bit every once in a while, but they go down. And then they don't go back down to what they were the lowest. They just go down like but this is what's happening. Literally, this is what's happening. Go look at the graph. Shh. Oh, shh. Oh, shh. Wait a minute. The lowest spot was way back here, but we keep celebrating these little dips. And when we celebrate the little dip, what we're doing? It's only forward strategies. And it's also lazy. It wants to put it out in the least amount possible effort, least amount possible to get by. You all agree? That's why those people are motivated. People do more, the extra. They do the extra, they just don't do to the minimum. They're out now. Because the minimum, they just do the minimum. Right, son? As a director, region, whatever, a super manager over region, a lot of it, it's just normal. They're not bad people. But these family headquarters are just doing the minimum, is because that's what the brain is normal supposed to do. They're not being bad people. They're not being anything other than normal. So when you do more than the average, when you do more than just expected, that takes a strong amount of discipline. And you got also, there's another one I'm going to talk about much here. That's a big perspective. That's you're individual. You work based on being individuals, not collectivists. Well, the group's not doing that much. The reason is I don't know why you're talking to me something, because the rest of me is doing the same thing I'm doing. That's called collectivists. Now, I'm not saying collectivism doesn't have things. Like when you come into a group like this, you're going to operate as like some teaching part of this group, right? But within this group, you're an individual. So like when I asked you to exercise, and you couldn't do that exercise, I honored you by you being an individual and sitting down and taking care of yourself, right? But that's not what our society most often does. They're like, well, what's your problem? Well, you just like people who are special. You said, right? So here, one more time, right? Hey, stand up. Okay, anybody who did not participate because of knee issues or back issues, whatever, I want you to remain standing. And if you were not that person, you had no problem with the exercise, I got you, then I want you to sit down. Okay, you had difficulty, you couldn't do the exercise. When I said, hey, I'm go to the chair. If you couldn't do this, right? If you couldn't do this, then and you had to just sit in the very beginning, then I want you to stay standing. Now you're gonna feel like, did you participate? You participate in exercise, right? Because you sit down. If you did participate, you had to participate. Oh, you did, you know. Okay, who did not participate? Who did not actually attend? Was there anybody who did not attend? Yeah, you did, thank you. Okay, if you participated, sit there. If you couldn't, everyone, okay, good. Okay, I'm gonna be the sample, okay, that did just, listen, there's a lot of our society right now that can't practice prevention. They just don't have the bandwidth, they got bad needs, right? They got debilitating anxiety. So that's me. I've got debilitating anxiety. So I need some clothes. There's things called protective factors and risk factors. Okay, and we'll talk about prevention. You're gonna see a video in a few minutes. Okay, we're gonna talk about that. Okay, so I'm gonna demonstrate for you. Okay, so here it is in real life. Okay, so I've got bad anxiety. So I'm having an anxiety attack right now. Okay? So to demonstrate, I'm gonna come up right here. But I want to sit down. So I need somebody to come support me. I need some help. Please come help me. I need some help. I need some help. I need some help. I'm about to fall. I'm about to sit down. I need some help. I'm saying, yeah. It's having really bad. It's like, you see, and sometimes people need that for a long period of time. And sometimes that takes the form of a prescription drug. Temporarily. Not for 2 years. Because if you stand there, if they stand there holding, you know what I'll do? Right, this is easy now. I'm just gonna stay right here. Now I'm not even holding my weight, but what's gonna happen to them? They're gonna wore out. And after I take that prescription drug for some period of time, I've got a little smaller tolerance. And because that it's not working anymore, I do what? I say, listen, you know, he's not giving me any extra, so I'm gonna do what? Go to the street. Or I'm gonna mix benzos with alcohol, and then boom, I have an overdose with alcohol. And they marked my autopsy as alcohol poisoning. No, it wasn't alcohol poisoning. It was mixing benzos or taking a Xanny and drinking alcohol. Benzo, I don't pronounce it myself. I just say benzo. But again, I don't care about the drug. I'm not trying to put about any drug either. The drug is not the problem. What's the problem? That's right. And frankly, I'll be honest with you, don't go like it's the lack of emotional intelligence. See, when y'all are doing that, when I have anxiety attacks, because I have them pretty frequently, you know, panic or whatever you call it, I breathe. And that supercharges that part of my brain that's making me have anxiety, playing tricks on it. It's called the limbic system. And it calms down. Calms down the vagus nerve, opens up the vagus nerve, blood flows to that. It's easy as it can be. People resist it, legal. Remember, that's prevention, and this is disease. And then once I get here, disease, and they're like, you know what, I'm not gonna ask for help. If I ask for help, I'm not gonna do something. Or it also means I might be judged. With the baby brain, maybe a limbic system, I call it the baby brain. Number one thing we fear is being judged. It's called fear of exposure. So people who need help, people know, oh, they just don't have the help they need. They don't want to. They'll tell you they want help, but they really don't want help. But it requires what? Work and change. And does your limbic system want to change? No. Because some of you didn't want to participate. Maybe this is my correction. Part of your brain is like, this is, you know, maybe not cheap, but a lot of people just like, listen, why not just stand up and then try to say it wrong? What is this about? That's your baby brain talking to you at work. That's the voice of one. Okay. So there is that. I use what's called spiritual learning. I'm going to show you some one time, but just know this too. If you're going to train this with me, you're going to be trained with this, then we're going to use the experiential learning cycle, like a love cycle. That's an experience. See, I can describe it to you in 1 on 10 minutes ago, right? And y'all went, but would you know the same thing? No, because information without experience is not knowledge. Did you hear what I said? I said, would you have known the same thing? No. Because the problem is too many people like me, they're trainers, we just think we do. We don't we'll just throw a bunch of slides up there and we'll rock and roll the slides and we'll be very, you know, because we don't want to, you know, we talk about that. But we'll do this instead. So today you're gonna be experiencing or hear about experiential learning. And there's experience. And then there's a self-reflection, and there's content, now. Hold your questions to the beginning. And the next thing I want you to read, and I'm gonna read it with you, just in case you can't. I don't say that, but basically I'm saying, like, they don't read. Experience is not all of us. And that's not the way we're gonna do this right. Y'all with me? Because really good is called experiential learning science, basic experience. Everything will happen here is doing basic experience. My experience, I'm gonna use my experience as the first of all, only because I don't want to push on the spot. Tell us about your experience. Like, shut up. The last thing you don't want to do is be embarrassed, right? Don't put on the spot. Don't call my name. So the training tip, right? When y'all do training with me, we don't call them. I know Sonny's an awesome person, but she's one person in the group. I'm like, Sonny, how would you like to start us off? Don't do that, okay? It also, from a training perspective, it prevents people having to follow certain behaviors. As a trainer, you can actually make people active by calling them. Now, Sonny's like, I was Sonny's like, where you know, stop calling on me. Sonny now got 5 phone calls to take care of. You follow what I'm saying? That same happens with prevention. You see somebody who's maybe like not very good, so we just start handling it. You know, you really so here's all we got on. Here's a website. Here's there's another way to approach them. Besides watching them. I get this recorded by my question for the trainer. It's about the mindset. Change the mindset from what you don't want to what you want. So if that person is drinking too much, feed them from the opposite. Feed them with, hey, I like to go a little bit. Well, they can't work out and drink like that. No. So I focus them on something other than you're drinking too much, you're drinking too much, you're drinking too much. Because guess what that brain focuses on? And how we become more resistant or less resistant. Same thing when we're trying to prevent stigma. A lot of people want to prevent stigma in this conversation, right? I hear it, they call me, we're interested in preventing stigma. What do you have about? Probably something that you don't like. Because I don't work on preventing stigma. I don't want to get more of it. So I work on preventing healthy attitude about it that are struggling with addiction. Because I got them too. You know, I'm not a recovery, but I have addictions. I have vices, abuses. So spiritual anxiety. So you saw this slide already. I can't say anything more about this man because I think y'all know. I mean, was he a thought provoker? Was he a genius? But you know what they said about him, right? He was an uneducated character. And that's not. So this is a slide here that's an overview of the whole entire 3 hours. That's slide right there. Now the basis of this slide is Stephen's there, don't you? Can y'all read that? Oh, that's on page A3. That's on page 3. Okay? Look at what's the bottom of it. Faith, what's the bottom of that? Oh, sorry, Faith. I think Colin, you're taking this class. I'm sorry. You talk about solutions, right? So the solutions that I often offer you are 2 big ones: emotional intelligence and integrative medicine. Particularly, you're talking about preventing prescription drug or drug abuse. My 2 solutions are very simple: integrative emotional intelligence and integrative medicine. If I had to pick between the 2, it would be emotional intelligence by far. Okay? If you do not know about emotional intelligence, I'm now going to give you the gift of the life nobody probably never got. I'll just challenge you that one. If you find different, if you go and do the research, you do your own research, and next month or 2 or whatever, and you do your own discovery about your emotional intelligence and what it can give you, and you think you're crazy, 17, I'll say, bring life for you. I will not get that though. I want to hear it. I want to hear somebody tell me where I'm missing the mark on emotional intelligence being the single most predictive factor of your mental health and drug addiction. Because watch it. Every one of our maladaptive behaviors, including drug addiction, is a function of not being able to manage your emotions. So guess what emotional intelligence does? It expresses that head on. And for a clue and good food, you own. I practice emotional intelligence all day long. Sometimes I don't do so well. I practice it all day long, self-reflection, self-assessment. I'm talking to you guys, I'm literally also self-reflecting and self-assessment. I'm social aware, that's domain 3. Domain 1 is self-assessment, self-awareness. Domain 2 is self-management. And domain 4 is relationship management. I'm constantly doing all 4 of them. Because I program myself to. You follow me? If I focus on you as homes for the benefit of how I can interact with you better, you hear that? If I focus on you as homes and see how I can better interact with you better. Notice some of the directions that we're given. Notice I didn't blame you all for the unclear directions. Do you notice that? It was my fault. It's my fault. It's my duty. It's my responsibility. That's a choice for most people. Most people it's like, no, John, they just listen to you. No, they listen to me the best they could based on what was going on. And the way I gave them the directions. So I cannot stress this slide enough. Respect enough. Understand this. That's 37 years of experience in probably 40 different frames. Are you going to get all those frames? No way. I mean, I don't even cover ones called BART. I don't even, just for example, I don't even cover it's called BART, B-A-R-T. Boundary conformity laws and waste of tax. I don't even cover it here. But it has tremendous impact on prevention. Just you wouldn't have time. And you don't have probably enough the willingness to pay attention to what I'm saying. Like, how many of you already know that? It's like, okay, that's an idiot. Like, how many of you found something I said already? You can leave. You can get, I don't want you to get for school. Let's take, something you can home, like a car, take care of your something. How many believe right now? You know what? That was enough to react. Anybody like that? Anybody got enough for them to react? Or you're still waiting for something? Okay, good. What are you waiting for? Okay, good. That's how it's set up. See, remember, was trying to one thing to do this without knowing what we're doing. So I set you up for this right there. So what are you waiting for then? I didn't know what result you're waiting for. So what I'm gonna do now, I like to do this like slow down and deep breath. Go to the shower and take like a minute per person. But do that math right? That would give a lot of time. Not that you're not working. If you allow me to, I'm gonna actually do a group check. Okay? So what I want you to do is to each other, okay, timers, remember timer each table, you're gonna have 3 minutes. 3 minutes to say those things. Your name, how are you doing, and your result. Now you know why I got you the name, right? Okay, so now you got political information. You may want to change or add to your result that you want. Okay, ready? Then 3 minutes, go.
Yeah, recorded your thing. Huh? Recorded. What's going on? What's going on? You're not gonna record me now? Yeah. There you go.
Let's got to do on class share. I also share. I can sub it to 3 minutes, 35 minutes. With like cross world, yes, absolutely. It is not that it's individual, it is individually. Like the way I practice functional intelligence, yes, I thought about all the related like characteristics.
Yeah.
But what I follow is we're not gonna be the same for each one. So all I can do is shoot what I like my dad personal management, my trust like 30 days. Maybe it's a little bit sometime, it's a long, it'll be just here, but sure. No way, you know. I do call option, 4 times good, more in, full form, okay. If you ask about receipt, that's just what I do. Other people, they go, I mean, I try to. Check. My fault was to bring in my emotions. Particularly my negative. Side back. Oh, this is not. Yes. At 100%, 100%, 100%. There's not this. Watch it. Your IQ have ever control.
Socializing.
100%.
Yeah, it says how to be honest. Instead of help.
So I know we all see the line of it, so control, most countries, is on the so. We said that's what we use that.
Can't do that. You'll move on.
Alright, you know what's in? And no, you can. And again, I see which they did, what's in it, it's either. I agree with this. I think a lot of us are all on this. I think a lot of times you won't walk. And I'm telling you all the time. It's my control, it's not going to like. It's like, my.
Well, good job. We'll just help them. I do suicide prevention. I do the suicide prevention. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, not really. I help out.
Oh,
Kind of feel that when shit is. I don't feel the
I got you.
I said her some. Was that so like testing opportunities? Never heard back. I tried calling, never answered. But during the day, she's in Florida. I'll probably say this with you. Okay. And then has called me. That's how it's going to. Just cut me off. That is not how it's going to be. Just cut me off. I thought it was close. That goes there. So, yeah, so. That's open. I did see one of those topics. I think he used to work, that's John Evans. It's like, so that's where that debate. Very well, it's sharing fun.
Awesome. Yeah. They make sense. That's true, but that's the first step. I'll go after scared. Let's say this means. Oh, sure. Sure.
But what's almost it's been beautiful for?
Yeah. We can talk about that. We can talk about it. Okay. Yeah, and then there's another special, there's another policy. Policy, okay, so we'll talk about those exceptions, those true exceptions, but the fact is still in us. You can do those kind of. Yeah. Unique, okay. So ladies and gentlemen, I got engaged. It's some really powerful stuff. I'm not gonna say it was great or not great, which is powerful stuff. It's deep. And then basically what happened was this group really found it interesting to the impact of emotional intelligence. This is not unusual for all the groups I've done, all the sessions I've done. So just I'm gonna say if that's okay, group I've already spoken to y'all. Okay, now if you want to add or correct, okay, but if that's okay, then fine. I'm gonna ask the other two groups to chime in real quick, and open kind of pressing you. And that is with a couple, 2 or 3 words about what result y'all, what was this group want? Or even group go. Okay, what do you want? Resources. What particular resources?
Trying to be parents and tailored.
Okay.
Because we can get our hands on that, if you call the number, dial one.
Okay, so resources, they can communicate this information. Okay, so maybe we can recreate the information here in your communities where people can use it. I'm just throwing it out there to see what frameworks, what ideas. So maybe there's more digging down on that specifically. What does it mean by the resource?
Take this train on me.
Okay, I've already developed and submitted to the state of Georgia, DHCD, a community training 1 hour. I've designed this 1 hour, and it's a presentation. It's not built on the ELC. It's a true presentation where it's 45 minutes or 50 minutes of me just doing a presentation. Actually, what I have is I have words on the slides that I talk. It sounds like I'm not reading, I'm talking through this presentation. It's designed for community people, for the laborers. All right. So I got that already done. So I can outfit you that. And also to I'm designing more if I have time, I want to come in. I'd rather be the person, or I'd rather you be the person. Okay? Because there's a whole different impact from watching a webinar than it is having an experience, even if it's a presentation. All right, but we talk about that resource. I got you on that, okay? All right, or at least some help. All right, and then this group will get what y'all want result. What result you want? Resources.
Knowledge of how to actually support the client.
Yeah. Okay, the first thing I say to that too, on both all accounts, okay, the first thing I can say to that, and again, just offering this is my input to you guys, that you build your emotional intelligence first. You build your emotional intelligence first. It's amazing how, I know for me, as I've built my emotional intelligence, I get stronger and stronger. It's like a muscle, right? The more you work it out, the better, stronger it gets, the more in shape it gets, too, the more crisp it gets. So I'm at the gym, working out, and things happen. And I use my emotional intelligence, here we go. You're different. Or like, I see your wife, interacting. Well, sure it's nice to see people, treat each other that way, talk to each other that way. And so I'm gonna say, how long have you been? 35 years old. How'd you do that? Yes, that gives me an opportunity to say, well, I know it sounds strange. It's called emotional intelligence. And they go, what? I'm like, look, there's no time right now. We're gonna work out. You're gonna work out. Just go Google. And I see them a week later. Man, I'm really working hard on the main one. And they even use the language. So I would tell you the best thing to do is you make yourself an example of emotional intelligence, and really everything else for you. I just believe that. I just experienced that. Because how many people want to be trained? How many of y'all want to be trained? But how many of y'all want to see examples of this? Show me. A lot of people can talk, can't they? But they can't do it because the problem is most people can't do it because of fear exposure. They don't want to try it and really commit themselves to it. Then what if they fail? Or what if somebody thinks they're doing? Like, oh, I can't believe you're doing that. I don't care what anybody thinks I'm doing that because I'm focused on myself. See, emotional intelligence doesn't allow me to focus on you. Like, what do you think, John, about me? You work on you, more come in. See, think about that. Everybody's working for themselves. But how that change their organization? Okay, so here, the 3 levels of cultural prevention. This is gonna go kind of quick. I know you're not gonna have time to process it, but we're gonna see if we can do something I haven't been able to do before. That's it. Use all of these 3 levels of development. Okay. So,
Right there.
first of all, what do you need? I think I've already said it before, but what do you need here? There's nobody I've ever seen practice prevention is exactly that. Nobody. I use the same prevention tool like access, for example. The way I cut down my access to chips may not be the same way you cut down access to chips. Or whatever, right? I mean, I have people talk to me that's recovery. So anybody that wants to say that they're recovery. Okay, so faith, okay. So faith, what faith practices for recovery is faith, if Lawrence was in recovery, would faith be able to like duplicate herself in the end? No, recovery is as unique as is the individual. Now watch, I'm really gonna go big problem. You know recovery, if your kids are working a 12-step program, an absence program, that's the flip of those solutions. By default, them working at 12 steps, they are working the automated 5 characteristics function. Did you catch that? See, I tell people doing these sessions, and as long as I've been talking about this, the most blessed people in our society are those that come to their knees and say, you know what? I'm diseased. And I'm done. I'm done fighting this pain. See, because if you know about I'm fast forward to page like 18, okay, the brain, fast forward to the Roman number 2, and that's brain science. See, this person's brain is actually what's called an anti-reward. And that is where there are actually addictions about them using drugs in anticipation of feeling pain. So they use the drug not because they want to use the drug to get high, or very little. They use it in anticipation of pain or feel they don't. So they're actually addicted to pain. Where the non-addicted brain is what we call the reward brain. So it's called the reward versus anti-reward. Reward not addicted, anti-reward addicted. Now that right there is worth 3 hours easily. If you got that right there, now you understand. Never be confused by why people use drugs when they're addicted, or eat another bag of shit, or whatever, go to another waffle, or whatever, right? Whatever, or spend more money than they have in their bank account. Overdraw their account by $10,000. With me? It's called addiction. It's called, I'm going to do this in anticipation of the feeling. The feeling. Here, watch this. Whoa, another right here. Watch this. Oh, there's no. You're talking like about intelligence. No, has nothing to do with intelligence. Because some of the most intelligent people are still addicted. Doctors, who leads the pack? The most addicted population are doctors and nurses. You know why? Access. And 2, they're smart. See, they're gonna outsmart the addiction. Do they outsmart it? No. Maybe for a time. For a time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 years, right? But eventually they do what? And then they blame it on what? They blame it on their job, high pressure job, high debt, right? They just saw somebody die. So they're still sitting there. So what's the answer? Same answer for them that it is for the person that has no money in the ditch over there in Atlanta. What's it called? Emotional intelligence. The greatest thing about this, I smile every time, not facetious, I smile. It's like that it's accessible to everybody. And at their own level. At their own level. I don't compare my emotional intelligence to anybody else's. That's a losing battle. Nothing positive comes out of comparison. Certainly when it comes to emotional intelligence. Okay, oh, wow, I do that. This thing sometimes wants to play games with me, so we'll see if we can put along with it. Well, I got in that play mode thing, whatever it's called. Okay, oh, I see, oh, okay, well, okay, this is a very short video. Right? That's all. You cheer on. Come on. Come on. You know, it's in that swirl thing, I mean, it's that felt back, right? That 43-second thing, come on, ain't that? I love how it records when I'm saying it. So what I've had to do when this situation happens is.
Welcome to our video on cultural identity. Cultural identity is the sense of belonging and connection to a particular culture, shaped by factors such as heritage, traditions, language, and shared experiences. Understanding cultural identity is important because it helps us appreciate our own unique backgrounds and develop empathy for others with different cultural identities. Picture a tree with deep roots, representing our cultural identity. These roots ground us, nourish us, and shape our growth throughout our lives. To apply this understanding, embrace and explore your own cultural identity and seek to learn about the cultural identities of others.
And then the results were, I'm gonna put big EI. And I'll put, resources, that right? Did I miss anything? Did I miss anything? Anybody else want to add to the results page? What do y'all need, what do you need to have? So you need some more understanding and work on emotional intelligence. Resources, did anybody have any interest in integrated medicine? No, okay, all right.
We need to try. I mean, it's going to teach about trying to have. Rather than preparing to get part people.
As far as, okay.
Try to think about this world.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could look at this as an opportunity for you to build your capacity, so you go train that out.
Right.
Or maybe you just made it a trainer. Yeah, certainly, yeah. I mean, I think what an ultimate resource that is. What I'm trying to tell you guys is listen, most people do not want to do what I would suggest. Most people are like, no, let me come in and do it. Would you agree? Do they want to build your capacity where you can train in the reserve? And they're gonna give you the reserve? That's not common, I don't think. No, that's what I'm telling you. I'm gonna give it to you. So you go do it on your own. And you'll talk about emotional intelligence the way you know. That's nothing to do with the way I do it. You do it your way. Because that's the most authentic one. And that brain, that big brain, that limbic system, it also knows when people are BSing. When they really don't believe what they're talking about. Right? They're not convicted. And when that happens, remember trust versus distrust? Automatically not trust them. See, I mean, not wrong, and not bad people at all, but actually, your brain right now, and it has been, and maybe it's okay now, it's kind of relaxed, okay? It's like, oh, don't trust this guy. But when I first started talking, unless you knew, you had prior experience in my training. Sherry came in, she didn't trust me. She saw my name, she said, oh, I know this guy. It's right? And even other prior experiences, maybe you came into experience and trust me. But if you didn't know me, you never experienced me, you'd be like, trust me, trust me. Until you go, this is called, watch this. What do you do? This sets you up with this. Emotional intelligence is all about connections. Now, guys, what is the importance of connection? The importance of connection is a word called attachment. Now, what's the importance of attachment? Simple as the importance of attachment is it defines you as a human being. The psychological connection about significance to each other. For things. Significance belong. That's what's hard to need. That's the third rung. That's where you're starting to live. The third rung. That's significance belong. You see the connections there? Now, some people call this a rabbit trail. Okay, so this is not a rat trail, okay, this is a stacking of concepts. Now, I know it's hard because people tell me it's hard, and it's not, I'm looking at this, because I've been doing it for a long time, right? How can I stack concepts? That's my job, right? But I'm trying to let you in on this, and you all agree the relationship report, right? Oh, yeah, relationship report, hey, stacking. Well, I'm gonna tell you, there's a process. And it starts with, what do you need people? Being trustworthy. Trust versus mistrust, what's going on? You cannot stop it. Subconscious, really subconscious, that's the subconscious mind. It wants to survive. So yeah, EI, resources, integrated medicine, all those important topics of conversation. But overall, whatever, no, absolutely what you want. So with that said, look at your directions on page 5. Yeah. Okay. So this is called the culture filter exercise. It's also the first level of culture in prevention. Did you hear that? It's the first level of culture in prevention. So, how many levels of culture do you have in prevention? You have at least 3. You have your own personal level of culture in prevention. Then you have the culture of prevention. It's in your book, Bill. It's in your books, right? So on that first slide, and you use all 3 of them together. And then you have the third level, which is called the culture of a substance abuse profession, or the culture of a substance prevention profession, or the culture of a suicide prevention profession. You really? Tara specializes in suicide prevention. She has her culture filter of the culture of a suicide prevention profession. Would you agree, Tara?
Correct.
Absolutely. Now, she also has her own individual culture. Harry specializes and does a lot of work in alcohol prevention with you, right, Harry? So Harry has an individual culture. He's also a grandfather, and recent grandfather again, for several times. Okay, he has that culture too. Each one of these cultures can be represented on one of these things called a coffee filter. But when you put your being, your values and beliefs on this, it now becomes a culture. And I have 8 of them. I have 8 culture filters. Why? Because I've been doing this a long time. Okay, I've been teaching this like 25 years. So if I sit here and just, I can take an hour talking about all my culture. You don't want to do that. My point is that each one of my filters, I have a training filter. Because if you were to see me, if y'all spend time with me outside of this experience, very fast, it's hard as too. It's like, I don't want to go to dinner at Crash Chapel with all the family connection, with all the Georgia family connection. Family connection. No,
The council.
hold on, wait. The count. And Harry, bless his heart, he's so awesome. Planner, and I'm like, I love Harry. I love Carl. I just want to speak here by myself at churches, churches, right? But that's my personal filter. See, that's my culture. And also too, because the place we go, they basically small off. They don't have to. I like grilled fish. And I like to, I won't drink sweet tea. I mean, there's every once in a while, I eat that like that. But I don't drink sweet tea. I don't have to drink sweet tea in my house. That's my culture filter, my personal culture, right? So here's one filter, and that's your individual filter. So right now, write down, the directions say right now, 5 to 6 of your elements of your culture. Okay? Now, what is an element of your culture? You see right there, I give you a cheat sheet. So if you can't come up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I've given you 8 possibilities. So like you can write down, I'm Mexican. So Mexican and Portuguese and Spanish. There's the first one. Race and ethnicity. My gender, I could put male. Could put 61. I could put middle class. Could put Catholic. The heterosexual. Language, English and Spanish. And then mental physical ability, high flyer. Don't leave out the flyer. So you, very quick, I'm gonna do this like 2 minutes, okay? Timers, 2 minutes. And if you get done with that assignment, then go to the second part, which is put your filter on your filter, put words or pictures of your words. Like if you put Christian, then you can write the word Christian on your filter or write like cross or something, draw a cross. That represents your Christianity. Or Buddha, if you're Buddhist, draw Buddha pose. Or whatever the Buddhist sign is. And if you're confused, or if I confuse you, let me know and I'll
That's a line.
And if you're not artistic, really don't worry about it. No, it's a struggle. You know, artistic. Okay, time for students. Okay, so. So who's the time over? Let me know. Oh, no gas, not the white and brown. If you're a person of color, represent that. If you are. Oh, not done. Okay, again, now you move to the second part, which is or the third part, which is and that now bunch of paper. Okay. I have your divided attention. I know it's not going to be completely attention, but so you divide attention. But you're going to take this chart right here. See this chart right here? You know that this chart, you're going to put somebody that's going to name somebody else come up with your name. So like the high flyers or the the emotionally intelligent group, something, okay? Come on back. Tell them the name first, then you can go struggle with this, have fun with it. And then this is the second step after your group name is similarities. So like everyone's in the room, they all say, well, this group would be females, but it's got one male. So you could put maybe all of your parents. So let's say everybody here's a parent, or at least maybe you can be a grandparent, but not a parent. So you may not be a parent, but you're an uncle, right? So okay, so that would be you have a secondary responsibility, okay, to families, children, that whatever it is. Everybody plays sports. Everybody that's playing sports in life, enjoy sports. So it's hilarious. And the differences might be like, I happen to be a master carpenter. Okay, so if I had one on this group and I said, how many of you are master carpenters? Everybody would be like, what is that? It's that I can build things. Okay, so that would be the second page, and that's going to be your difference. Okay, so you have your similarities on one chart and differences on the other. Okay, you're going to have a total to do both tasks 4 minutes. Okay, so 4 minutes to do both tasks, similarities and differences. Yeah, go. So name first. You have to put the name first, name of group.
All right, oh. Okay, I've got to do it. I was in my,
They also do shit. You should last it. Okay, let's start with that.
But.
Oh, no, hey, don't be. Fruit, I got shit, and the shit's name. Okay, so y'all want to post some examples of other groups? Those are other groups. The first one is your similarities or common. The first similar. And then difference. Yeah, maybe you want
Yeah.
No, different southwest. Southwest county, southwest county, thrown out. Same way. We got 79 inch rain. Oh, the bacon is supposed to get. And so is Auburn's. So you should ask my brother's right north, in Albany, over there. I took it to Persia, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for, I said, that's coming right through our area. Like at 2 a.m. and Friday morning. Oh, wow. I mean, I thought it's predictable. That's gonna be kind of interesting. That is. But it's still a lot of good. We'll get more time. We had that storm that came out. Other side was. I mean, get more, but interesting. I'm glad too. He still is. Maybe not. I think April got 13 to 15 inches. So I don't know what's the matter. They got nothing right there. I used to go to school on college. To Wednesday. And they used to always say we're gonna try something. We never found them. And then the one time everybody did evacuate was the time when it did. Because we was like, you said it's gonna come, we never did. One time we stayed. It hit. I'm at Georgia School, I just your partners. And storm came. Last year, nobody said, it's the safest building you can be in. They can say, it's not good, it's fun, and they could have generators, I mean, you will be fine. Oh, we can have you very unlocked. That's what they say. Well, we might get some rain and wind, fine. And we got a little rain and a little wind. The next morning, you couldn't tell a thing. And what is this storm? Okay, so I seems to be talking about. This is weird because this is probably the one that really causes a lot of. Because I must be the people. Nothing really happens. So I mean, the car. My brother-in-law. He didn't have a house. Oh no, the church in. They kept going up and up. He was like, oh, what? Well, it's yeah, I just be selling sure. So, and got a little home. She said, it's us can't go there. Now there's no they get back. Which one? It is in Florida. Oh, yeah. We're not gonna put it retired. He needs to bring him to shows or picture. Maybe that real estate still, but he's not, he's not pushing all these. He's all nothing but you. Because I just can't afford all this. Things where you don't stop turning or.
Well, I,
Excuse me.
Sure.
We are change agents. We need to consider. But our top two similarities, are parents and grandparents. And that we are all parents. We're inclusive. And to be with us. Some of us are agree. Our differences. See, you can get that. Our differences are that some of us are adopted. That part of me does not, their first language is not English. And also, I believe, nobody is reading of what you.
That's you.
And you can see the first letter, each one of our names.
Oh.
And L. Alright, we're similar, we're all parents, we all speak English language, we are Americans, we're Christians, and we're middle class. The difference is our gender, our race, and our age, and our top three similarities were we are middle class American Christians.
Right, that is exactly the third base. To be chaired by the protectors.
We're all Muslims, we're all married, and we're all professional. Our differences, we're all different ages, our grandparent status is different, educational levels are different, and the most important one we thought was our parenting skills are different.
So they said skills instead of style. That was kind of different in the word. You say styles. Thank you. Thank you all for yours. Now we'll take your chart and then put them together. Tear them off. Tear it right off. Just like yeah, it's like that. And then take both of them, and then you're gonna put them on the window like that. Put them on the wall. This one underneath of. Right? Oh, wow. So, just a quick debrief of anybody that would like to say, what was that? What did it feel like? That feel good? Pretty solid? Okay, so now watch this. Now I'm gonna take you for a little twist. The little twist is think about your culture filter. Look at your culture filter. And think about how many of those elements on your culture, or maybe things you didn't write down. Think of things maybe you didn't write down when I asked this question. How many of those things that you did write down, or things you could think about now that are prevention related? Like, for example, if you put Christian, you may that also may equate with prayer or meditation or whatever. Well, that has been proven to be a significant factor in prevention. And actually a significant factor for building emotional health. Prayer of any kind. It could be prayer in nature. I mean, that doesn't mean, I'm not promoting any kind of religious, system here. I'm just talking about being spiritual, religious, whatever you want to call it. Exercise. How many of you would put on your filter that exercise, you value and you believe exercise? Now, a lot of people will say, like in the mental health field, you see it all over the place. Walk at least 15 minutes a day. And the fact is, I'm not trying to pick on anybody, okay? They just hey, I just have to say it. If you talk about that and you're not doing it, how believable are you? I mean, you're not even believable to yourself. So I'm not saying don't say it, just recognize it. I'm talking about exercise. I can do it. You remember watch the levels, the 4 domains of emotional intelligence. The first one is self-assessment, self-awareness. See, a lot of people are like, oh, I wonder why I'm experiencing so much anxiety. I just got all this energy. Just go walk some. Just go walk. Don't take the Xanax. Try this not. Try. Don't put it on without yet. Just try this first. Now, actually, I'm going to do a little commercial. There's a video I'll walk, probably get enough time to show you, but y'all have the links. Harry sent it to you, all the videos, and also have a copy of all the links, the last page of the workbook. There's a video called Stoicism. You need to watch that video. You also need to watch and study the video called The Nothing Rule. It's called The Nothing Rule. It will knock your socks off. All right? So I'm telling people that come into my space, ask them, John, I'm starting to feel some anxiety, or I'm starting to have this happen this week, I'm a little depressed, or whatever their situation is. I'm fine, I'm drinking too much. Go Google The Nothing Rule. So the Nothing Rule is not about not doing nothing. It is, but it's not. Okay, just go Google it. So when you start thinking about your values and beliefs, the first level of change, which you got to think about. But that's also the first domain in emotional intelligence. It's self-assessment and self-awareness. There's a reason for that. There's a reason you have this convergence of a 5-step to change process, which I don't have time to go through in here, but I have to bring it up because prevention a lot of times is about change. Change from just sitting. The change is from sitting. I'm sitting. Now, you may be literally sitting all day, but you may also be figuratively sitting all day in your disease. And so the change is this. No, you don't try. You do, you don't. But I'm like, the inertia. When a plane takes off, right? When a plane takes off, how much fuel does it burn on the takeoff? Like 50% or 60% of their fuel. But then they get going. Emotional intelligence. Now you're into the 4 domains and 5 characteristics. And then you look at it like, oh gosh, look. See, you can't see all the disease when you're down here. When you're in the midst of it. When you get up in here, you're up here, and I'm thankful I'm up here going, oh my gosh. Like, I need to land. I land, I say, get on, come on, y'all, get on. And then I do what? And then I go and walk around and say, hey, you see that yet? Don't see that. And y'all will say, well, we got 280 people all around. And this class is what? Or this setting is what? Hey, whatever this 50 to what we learn. Y'all see it now? Now your tendency is want to do what? Get me down. I want to get down. Let me get down. Let me get down. Right? Let me sit. See, then you go sit, and then you're amongst everybody else. Now you're collective. See, but when you go, you get up here, what are you? You're an individualist. And frankly, it's not comfortable sometimes to be in play. It's more comfortable. Remember the limbic system? It wants to experience pleasure, avoid pain. That's favorite level already. Now, are you in control of that most times? No. It's called homeostasis. We have homeostasis, literally, with our feelings. Who's ever heard embrace the pain? Embrace the pain, learn from your pain. That mindset, when you develop that mindset, that emotional intelligence, that ability to be in the midst of like crazy pain. That's fine. And your emotional strong, you're there. Now, can you just stay there forever? Can you just relax and just stay there? No. You gotta press it, you gotta stay present. So culture is defined as. You can read. Notice this, I've highlighted a couple words here. What are the words that are highlighted? Most people define culture, talk about culture. This is like me growing up in Mexico, they say, well, that's actually culture. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I know what you're saying, like, is that, like, Mexico? No, I'm American. Actually, yeah, I was born in America, born in Columbus, Georgia. And I speak English, I don't speak Spanish. And I at least from America, really not Mexican. You talk to my mom, she represents a lot of the Mexican, her Mexican values at least, but those are just her values at least. So a lot of her trouble, she tries to bring those values with me when she's 18 years old. We mark them on her granddaughters who are now wearing makeup, and she has condition fit. Young women and wears tops so they can see their breasts. Mom, that was not her values and belief. She covered herself and veiled herself. You with me? So what's the problem? Creating other people in your own image. Your values outside people. My values and beliefs are my values. And I'll also share something with you here. A person convinced against their value and beliefs still have those same value. But matter of fact, it's probably deeper. So, for example, if you try to convince people, hey, I believe that, addiction is just a moral failing. It's just a moral failure. They just, some strong people. And you tell a person, I'm sorry, your values are correct. They will be further and further into that value belief or that stigma. So, how do you get them out of it? Examples not the main thing is component. Yeah. Who's ever heard what you do to be so loud, what you do to be so loud, what you say, I cannot hear. It's a great saying, isn't it? But people don't know really how that operation reveal itself. It reveals itself with most of us as human beings. We're trying to convince people, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that all the time. You're doing that. So what's that limbic system see? Trust versus mistrust. It's more than that. And then the system doesn't work. See, I trust the medical system because they all tell me to do X, Y, Z, but they're not doing X, Y, Z. They're telling me to get a full my emotions and get a grip, but they're not getting a grip. Who's ever had family stuff say that? Talking to the kids say, yeah, mom and dad said I shouldn't cuss and smoke and everything, but guess what they did? Example, but the main thing is Steve. Oh, thing. So listen, values and beliefs are great to have. But you gotta take ownership of them. Whatever they are. Does it mean they're good or bad? No. They are what they are. Remember individual and group, individualism, collectivism. See, I get people do this exercise, and not recently, but years ago, and get them to look at how many values and beliefs they have that are based on collectivism versus individualism. They have those values and beliefs because it's a group. Now, what happens when the group disagrees? What happens when the group changes directions? They lose themselves literally in the group. That's scary. That's not helping. That's Paul. You know that's Paul? Let me help you. Oh, dependence. Yes. When you lose your need into the group or into another community, that's called codependency. We have got a massive amount of codependency in our society. And it's because people it's called peer exposure. They're afraid to be an individual because they're called down. That's not celebrating diversity. Would you agree? We talk about celebrating diversity. Celebrate diversity. Celebrate diversity. Unless what? You're diverse. Or diverse a certain way. Now, I'm speaking personal experience because I know. Now, I just happen to be hard-headed enough to withstand the battle and say, no, God bless you. I love you. Thank you. But I'm not going to go drink alcohol on weekends with you. You're still my friend. I still like you. But that is not what I want. So do I get invited to the guys on high school? Do I get invited to their peer games to hunt deer? No, because it's not about hunting deer, it's about drinking and doing other things. I don't do that. Does that make a bad person? No. I just don't fit that collective culture. So this is another slide showing police values. Look at that. These are things that people view as true. Now, if someone has a belief that they don't value, they don't see as true, again, it's part of a collective experience. They're just saying because they want to belong to this group, on the other, whatever. It's cool. Social media is driven this like everything. Just blow it up. That's for children. Also, look at the second goal. Beliefs are built in. Beliefs are built in. They're built on trust. Beliefs are built on trust, and then remember what you see there, the limit system, the left. Values, the things that are worth, they have worth to you. And they vary wrong. We go into a lot of different attributes that we on. So here's this is on page 6. Individual collectivism. Now, I could put many of the slides, y'all can gain y'all another experience, talk about it, and kind of dig deep into it, just standing for time. But no, this is a very powerful force in our society. It is a very powerful force in prevention. The more collectivists you have in your communities, the harder it's going to be for practice prevention. Because in order for you to influence a group, that takes a lot of energy, and maybe even impossible. I look at my prevention work, I don't try to influence a group, I influence a person, and then another person, and another person. And they collectively come together and agree upon another set of values and beliefs. Now that group becomes a very powerful group. To cleave them off from the group thing, if you're all in a group thing, that's collectivism. And again, social media is literally a breeding for collectivism. And people lose themselves in social media all the time. You're hearing all these very once a week, one of these influencers, right? They do what? They commit suicide.
They die by suicide.
Interesting. Because what happens is, Sonny's having a social influence.
What he said.
Social media influence, right? You might they make it $27,000 a month. And they make $60,000 the next month they post. And the next month they post, sorry, Sonny's no longer around. Sonny jumped off a bridge. Because our brains aren't made, they're not made up for that. They're not made for that false sense of collectivism. They're not made for that false sense of belonging. We want real belonging. We want real connection. All the time somebody gets a click, the 7,000 or what it likes of it. That's collectivism. Does anything completely about
It seems.
but they're like, you thought on the water.
These people.
And you know what's happening? They're dating analytics. It's not that. No, it's not even support that. I call the adult. It's not the big one. But I'm talking about it. I've been talking from the very beginning. It's
But they look good.
they're in about the police improvement system. That probably takes responsibility, mostly develops black. Well, how would you get
I'm going for it.
You thought I said I'm seeing a house with it. He's not the issues.
Gives them a chill. Different boss.
So this is
So this.
all lot. Okay, when I put all lot, I believe also supposed to say, so that takes, not that say that, okay? The next one is culture identity and number staff.
Yeah. Yeah, I say a revenge. Let's just talk about wow. Some really big ball. It's still not some shit. This movie.
So the second, and here's what it is, probably the best video, one video, if I can show you one video, this conversation about prevention of substance addiction or substance use disorder, addiction, whatever. If this video is on, about 7 minutes and 43 seconds, I show you this video and say, study that. Okay, so here's the way.
Excellent. It's different. It's actually and she was either doing something like that, you know, without that single payments. She's what people see it. In this video. This is recording with some sound. You know, something said about this mention. Prevention. Prevention describes approaches to modification. Disease, impact. While prevention activities can vary depending on the type of disease, they can be broadly classified into 4 levels: primordial, primary, secondary, and tertiary. Before going through these levels, we need to know how a disease develops and progresses, the natural history of disease. So, a person's health is influenced by the social determinants of health. These are the conditions in which people are born, grow, live, work, and age, and the wider set of forces and systems shaping the conditions of daily life. These can increase a person's susceptibility to disease or the likelihood of being exposed to risk factors. A risk factor is anything that can cause or increase the likelihood of developing a disease, such as smoking, pathogen, or a carcinogen, such as asbestos. A person's susceptibility is determined by factors such as genetic makeup, nutrition status, immune status, and the presence of other diseases. When a person who is susceptible to a disease is exposed to or accumulates risk factors, pathological changes may occur in their body, which signals the start of the disease process. As these pathological changes progress, it can eventually lead to the clinical stage of the disease. This is the stage when a person starts showing signs and symptoms of the disease, such as fever, cough, weight loss, or pain. It's in this stage that a person typically sees a doctor and the disease is diagnosed. The time from when the disease process starts to the clinical stage is called the subclinical stage. The subclinical stage can vary quite a bit. It can be short, a few seconds in the case of an allergic reaction, or many years for some cancers. A few things can happen after this. The disease can resolve, either on its own or because of an intervention such as taking medication or having surgery. The person can continue to live with the disease. It may lead to a disability such as the inability to walk, and sometimes a person can die. Now that we've gone through the natural history of a disease, let's have a look at the different levels of prevention. Primordial prevention addresses the broader determinants of disease in order to prevent the emergence and establishment of the social, economic, cultural, and environmental influences that can lead to disease. It includes actions like reducing poverty, improving sanitation, and promoting education. It's a very broad area that requires the cooperation of many sectors outside health, like the finance, education, agriculture, and environmental sectors. The goal of primary prevention is to prevent the onset of disease. It does this by reducing or eliminating risk factors, reducing exposure or developing resistance to risk factors. For example, limiting access to tobacco products, vaccination to protect against infectious diseases, and ensuring safe workplaces to minimize exposure to hazardous agents such as asbestos. The goal of secondary prevention is to detect the disease early at the subclinical stage by identifying pathological changes that are occurring before the person is symptomatic. Interventions at an early stage can prevent a disease from progressing and getting worse. This is usually done through screening. Examples of screening include cancer screening for bowel cancer by testing for blood and stools, or newborn screening using the Hela prick test to detect diseases like hypothyroidism or cystic fibrosis. The goal of tertiary prevention is to reduce the impact of disease through effective treatment, education, and rehabilitation. This can make the person recover from their illness sooner, improve the patient's quality of life, prevent disability, and reduce mortality.
And that's an overview of the different levels of prevention. With prevention, there are two broad approaches: the high risk or targeted approach, and the population or universal approach. These were highlighted by the work of an epidemiologist, Jeffrey Rose. In the high risk approach, prevention activities are selectively targeted to people who are at high risk of a disease. For example, doing a screening X-ray for someone who's worked with asbestos or providing rabies vaccinations to veterinarians. On the other hand, in the population approach, prevention activities are used for the whole population to reduce the overall level of risk. For example, seatbelt laws or fluoridation of water. Sometimes both approaches can be used. Let's take cardiovascular diseases, for example. High-risk prevention strategies include medication to control hypertension or an exercise program for those with a high body mass index. Population-wide prevention strategies include limiting access to smoking through bans or increasing taxes, or reducing unhealthy diets by eliminating trans fats or increasing taxes on sugar-sweetened beverages. There are advantages and disadvantages of each of these approaches. The main advantages of the high-risk approach are that prevention can be tailored to suit the individual and their circumstances. Motivation is likely to be high, both by individual and healthcare provider. The interventions are usually cost-effective, and the benefits tend to outweigh the risks. The disadvantages are that it can be hard to identify those who are at high risk. It doesn't necessarily address the underlying cause of illness. There are generally more cases of disease from people at lower risk compared to that from people at high risk. And prevention behaviors may be hard to do as an individual if it's different from what peers are doing. In the population approach, the advantages are a small change across the entire population can have a large overall health effect. It has the potential to address the root cause of health problems, and they are behaviorally more appropriate for an individual because it applies to everyone. For example, if non-smoking becomes the social norm, it becomes easier for a person to stop smoking. Also, because the interventions are delivered to everyone, it promotes health equity. The disadvantages of a population level prevention strategy are these interventions usually require action by areas other than health, and therefore could be harder to achieve. A measure that brings a lot of benefit to the whole population may only bring little benefit to the individual, especially if they're in low risk category. This is called the prevention paradox. Because of this, motivation can be low, and because the individual benefit is low, it can easily be outweighed by even a small risk. There is no single approach that will work well in all situations, and in most cases, a combination of targeted and population-wide prevention works best. And that's a quick look at prevention. We've had a look at what it is and how it works, the different levels of prevention, and two approaches to prevention.
So, you look at page, was it 8? Okay, you may have taken some or no notes, whatever you did was perfectly acceptable and good. You can now probably also maybe have a little reflection of how many times do you watch that video to catch these 50% of it? Do you think of it maybe 1 or 2 times? Probably, yeah. So again, that's why you have the links, all the videos. So I'm asking something too. I tell you, there are other videos I've already made an executive decision that you're not even gonna watch. Not because it's not good, because it's timing, but you're gonna want to watch them multiple times. So I just demonstrated to you that you can now agree that you're gonna watch any of these videos multiple times. Maybe not the first, right? The first one with 43 seconds, probably won't even watch that one. Pretty good. But the rest of the videos, guaranteed, there's not a video that I'm gonna show you that are I got to show you. You're gonna watch one time and be ready. It's like, okay, I watch it 5 times. Okay. So that said, page 9 is the cultural convention, and it's a facilitated experience. Means I'm the facilitator, not gonna let you large or small groups. Although I really designed it, I'd rather that at the time, which is small groups take more time. So it's not that I think it's better done with you small group, it's because of time. So y'all kind of act like we're all thinking, I'm the facilitator of here instead of me being part of it, I'm the facilitator. It's okay, ready to go. Well, let's real quick. Okay, if what you would like to say, maybe something powerful off that video that you saw, something like, wow, your video or an epiphany, or who like to add a VA or something. You know, anybody see something on that video, here's something like, holy mackerel. Just the whole video? The whole video was gripping enough, it's like, okay, nothing in particular. Okay, how many of you saw that giving all the medicine states is an example of universal prevention? That's an example of universal prevention. Some of you have programs that target selective audiences. That's all what? Selective. And then other of you have programs that target indicating. So like they've indicated they have a problem. Alcohol, misuse. There's that in living living examples. I mean, I have a great video now. We can spend a whole 2-3 hours to break the video on basic prevention. Yeah, it's time. And I don't think that's really going to be most effective. I think most effective is to do out study, apply, think about how to apply to all four. Prevention. Watch it. Above all that, if you don't have emotional intelligence, in my experience, you just got a bunch of programs. But when you have understand emotional intelligence, and the people who are running the program also understand emotional intelligence, the impact on the participants is unimaginable. If you've never seen it. So on page 10, I actually have copies of some of the slides. I saw Latanya, one Captain Schultz, don't do that. No, don't do that. Leave it alone. Because I took a snapshot of the summary slide. See that one slide? So you can take a picture of it? Okay. Next slide, so okay, our protective risk package. You remember hearing that? So there's that slide. Remember the one that's the summer slide? Don't take a picture of that. Don't take a picture. Okay. I added some stuff to it. You see there's like the 4. You'll see I write on them with that, whatever you call it. The next one, see I wrote a lot on that one. This is on page 10 also. So you notice there, you've got risk factors, correct? What's the biggest risk factor out there? Lack of coping skills. What's the domain to emotional intelligence? Building emotional coping skills or self-management. But basically talk about self-management, about building coping. Okay, so you see the time. All right, loneliness, y'all see loneliness up there. A lot of people lonely or isolated and they're surrounded with people. They're like, I'm lonely, I'm isolated. Well, really? Now I don't perceive them. So then they are. Isolation, trauma, you see the words over there? Early substance, the big indicator of potential problem. High risk. EIEIO, and then resiliency. How many of y'all like resiliency? Well, guess how resiliency is built? Say yes. Emotional intelligence. That's how resiliency is built. So how do you build resilience? Build emotional intelligence, you'll build resilience. Now, I'm experiencing when I'm saying people have these resilience programs, but then I ask them, okay, well, what's the foundation? And they don't know. And then when I say emotional intelligence, their big brain wants to like, no, like, okay. Yeah, well, I'm okay. But they don't know, and sitting right underneath their nose, their great program is a great program. It's only a great program built on what? Emotional intelligence. Which the problem is, you have to pay for a lot of times those programs. See, emotional intelligence, you have to pay. And they'll even give it to you. I don't even really think you can put it in a program. True emotional intelligence, you have to live it. You can't give it to somebody, you can't buy it, you can't, I don't know what other way you want like that. No. Three type of prevention. This is also on page 10. But I would assume now you see some extra little notes there. Risk, risk. So it's all about what? Risk reduction. Are we ever going to eliminate risk? Are we ever going to stop? I love this one too. I think about John, would stop opiate addiction. Would stop opiate. You're saying something like that, because you're never going to stop. Or another one, a little sidetrack, but it's about prevention. Preventing racism. You're never going to prevent racism. You're not going to stop. Which you don't understand. You have to understand, the same place that the ditch has, the same place that the grazing. And there's a reason why it happens. People don't just out of the blue not like Mexicans. They just don't. They don't like Mexicans typically because of the experience they have, or the experience somebody else had that they told them. They're like, come on, look, you're my, oh, you know that Mexican treats you bad. How my Mexican say, you know, she dated the Mexican and he beat her up. So you know what? The hell with Mexican. You know, it's everybody agrees. I didn't have experience. She did. And because of that, now that's enough. And again, are they wrong? Are they a bad person? No. You know more than you would be if you had the same kind of position on something else. Like Catholics. I've had people who told me Catholics have tails look like the devil or something. They're like, they're crazy. Like, you know, in the Bible Belt, obviously, in high school. There's no Catholics in our high school, basically. I had nobody. So I was like this outlier. You know, like, oh, you pray for the Virgin Mary. And you know, I just found out. That's right, I didn't judge them. I don't think they're idiots. They never in the Catholic Church. And they ask the Catholic Church with me, they always go like, wow, y'all really disciplined. Y'all actually kneel on church hall. And they're like, I never had anybody take anybody to Catholic Church. They didn't have a positive. So like, that's really sweet. You know, that's neat how you do. But again, they wouldn't get there if I told them years and more. You want to back, I was holding back, right? You know what I'm saying, that right? Y'all, hey, watch this much. Remember, I did that in God's head. This judgment. We all talk about this deal about being non-judgmental. Listen, and this is flash. We're not non-judgmental. We are judging professionally making judgments. Locally. And here's what you're paid to do. It's called we call an assessment. Right? We don't call it a professional judgment, right? Because that leads too much to you making a judgment. So it's interesting how we course of trying them. I think we're helping people who are really, it's like when you tell people, see, your liberty system knows you talk to. So it's something when you tell somebody, oh, and then you pass judgment on them by assessment, what does the liberty system say? You're a moron, I don't trust you. You just told me non-judgmental and you just made a judgment on me. And now we're trying to do that to people? No, I think we've been trained to say that. So let's be honest. I'm going to make a professional assessment. When I used to do child services, I told the families, it's my job. I'm being paid to do what's called a risk assessment. That is a judgment. And that judgment is then passed on to the judge, who's the ultimate judge. That judge has the power to take your children away and keep them away. Right? It's not me. I'm just charged with responsibility to make the assessment. And a child service judgment on risk. High risk, low risk, right? Medium risk. Who's ever heard of protective parent? That's right. Or overprotective parent or a protective parent. In the case of a child being maltreated, we look for the protective parent. That's a protective. You guys, this is also on page. Oh no, it's not. I did this slide, but I did not put it in your book. So you want to take a picture of this? This is a summary of a lot of stuff together. I added some stuff to it. You see that universal primary, individuals indicated secondary, groups selected tertiary. Okay? In my initiative, I do a lot of environmental stuff, like drug drop-off. Okay, I do a lot of environmental stuff. The medicine station can be considered my environment, but I do a lot of universal stuff too. So I don't have a selected or indicated population. Now, I think the medicine states can then give the medicine takeaway to indicate. But that's secondary stuff. You're doing that. I'm not going to indicate. You are. So see the layers. This is on page 10. And I give out the words: understanding, adopting, instilling, developing. It says, you see up there, it says that Association of Southeast Asian Nations 2017. They are Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Singapore, Laos, Indonesia, Myanmar, Malaysia, Brunei, and Philippines. Now, those seven or eight countries, they have one thing in common. You think, well, that these people will advance. Actually, it's not advanced. It's their society. If they don't practice a high level of prevention, they die. Why? Because there's a lot of dangerous snakes like boas, and they're looking at life skills and stuff, and if they don't practice good prevention and culture of prevention, right? They go with the life skills and the boa, and they die. That's why they have a lot of deaths of like, and things like boas, and other animals that eat them. So they have to practice a high level of cultural prevention. You're like, well, listen, those countries are so advanced, why can't we be that advanced? Well, we would be that advanced too if we were that risk. See, the more risk you have, the more likely that you're gonna be forced into practicing prevention. See, we have high risk, we actually, we all have, oh, that's a head picture. I mean, I did rough, I smoked dope. I smoked dope and I drank alcohol as a teenager. Yeah, when you smoke dope and drink alcohol, teenager, okay, it was 7% THC. And that THC with a circulating beer is 3 times that much, so it's 21% THC. However, today, the THC is 40-50% or 20%, or if you're dabbing, it's 90%. So now you drink the alcohol, now it's triple that amount. Did you hear that? Now we're having a godly amount of people having psychosis, literal psychosis. Because why? The limbic system is overcome with a massive amount of THC they cannot get. So you look, John, I never heard of somebody OD on THC. Oh, well, you ain't been looking, because people are overdosing on THC by the droves. And then one of the most significant factors is anytime you have THC and you put alcohol with it, it multiplies it times 3. Who's telling you that? Is the alcohol industry telling you that?
No.
Is the marijuana industry telling our kids on social media and our adults on social media that? No, they're telling you THC is the greatest use of life rate. Just like it, they said in the 30s how great nicotine was. Go back and Google that. Go back and Google advertisements in the 30s for nicotine. They said it could even cure women's hysteria. They said it cured cancer. Nicotine in the 30s and 40s was advertised by doctors saying it cured cancer. I made this one up. This see, we're so our society to wait to get disease, then we're gonna take care of it. We don't want people, and don't take this wrong, please, do not take this wrong. If you're getting treatment, then I think you should celebrate. But you should also be celebrated if you don't. You should also be equally as celebrated if you're preventing disease from manifesting itself. Heart disease. You know, I'm 61, I have no disease. I'm not trying to say. But wouldn't it be nice if those of us like me practice prevention, very water and kombucha, whatever what behind that thing. That sweet tea's over there. I mean, that's the first sweet tea I think I've had, and I don't even know last time. I can't even remember the last time. Now, does that make me a great person? No. I'm just telling you, this is what I do to practice prevention. I work out usually twice a day. And well, I want to know. I work out for my mental, my physical, right? So I mean, I should celebrate. Like my kids are, thank God, my wife and my kids are like, really push all you can take care of yourself, so you can take care of us. I don't go to the bars and drink and stuff. And I'm not a bad person if you do, but a lot of guys, I don't know you guys, I do that as a prevention function. Does that make sense? Again, say anything other than pointing out that our society, use me as an example. I could use you as an example too, right? How many times do you get celebrated with your profession? Need treatment. Need treatment and see what happens. Man, everybody, should they rally around? Yes. Yes. But wouldn't that be nice if we also got the same treatment? So the third level of culture and prevention is the third level of culture of a substance abuse professional is a substance abuse professional. Substance abuse prevention professional. So 3 levels of cultural prevention. The third one is culture of a substance abuse prevention professional. So here's a video. Oh, we got about an hour. Okay, great. Watch. Y'all can watch this video. Okay, ready? It's only 3 minutes. Say that.
Healthy. An important step is to learn about preventing substance use disorders. And understand that the adolescent brain is more vulnerable to alcohol and drugs than the adult brain. earlier someone starts using substances, the greater their chances of developing a substance use disorder. 90% of those who have a substance use disorder started using drugs and alcohol before they turned 18. 90%. So what does this mean? Prevention is about the long the onset of first use. They are pushing it back as long as possible. Instead of alcohol, tobacco, and marijuana, the most commonly used substances among teens. Protecting the brain during this period of development is an important part of prevention. The adolescent brain is rapidly developing, learning, changing all the time. It can learn a language or a musical instrument more quickly than an adult brain, but it can also be harmed more easily. The brain continues to develop in a person in their early to mid-20s. With the regions of the brain that keep emotions and impulses under control and help us make decisions among the fast to develop. This is also why adolescents are more likely to engage in risky and impulsive behaviors, such as trying drugs and alcohol in the first place. Early use of alcohol and drugs can disrupt brain development in ways that can increase a person's risk of developing an addiction in later in life. Other factors that put an adolescent at risk besides the age of first use include caregiver substance misuse, trauma, and a lack of social attachments. These are called individual factors. And they're part of the big three in preventing addiction, along with environmental and genetic factors. Environmental factors include high drug availability, a lack of laws and enforcement, and social norms. And more genetic factors, which research suggests accounts for about half persons likely to developing a substance use disorder. While we can't change our genetics, knowing about a family history of addiction can help compel us to make different decisions about our substance use. For every risk factor, there is a protective factor for counterbalancing. Prevention focuses on strengthening the protective factors that we can control to decrease the likelihood that a person or a community will struggle with addiction. Together, we can solve this. Do this.
Page 11. Again, just any quick comment that did some grip you there, that something is like, wow, I heard some oohs and ahs, or you know, maybe I was just relaxing. Genetic influence. Okay. Yeah, like, okay, so just give you a few minutes of that. And now I have a whole section on Allegheny Act, okay? I'm not gonna show you all those videos, I know that, okay, you got the clips. I'm gonna show you the information, but to suffice to address this moment in time, the things to bring it up, it's real, like, like, oh, right there. And you heard what she said. She took on the fact that she doesn't have a family history of addiction in her family. However, she is the first one. Okay, so this gets into this conversation about nature and nurture. This gets into the conversation about personal choice.
Yes.
Okay, that's right. So this now brings all those components together. It doesn't mean that you faith decide, you know what, I want to get addicted. I've never met anybody addicted. I've never met anybody with substance use disorder, whatever you want to call it, right? They came to me and said, John, I'll be addicted. Nobody, not a single person. Because anybody's ever addicted, just tell them. Okay, don't call people sit up, you know, in the chair, trying to don't sit down. You know, somehow it's like, my God, your needs. I mean, I know for me, I do it. I still squat some in the gym, but I think it's like, I mean, I get shooting pains in my knees, but I still do it because I love squat. I love doing legs, okay? But I can't wait to sit down. I can't wait to get home and put my eyes out on my knees. You know, I'm looking for the relief of that pain. So remember, the addiction is about pain. Remember what kind of pain it is? It's what kind of pain? It's about using the drug or doing whatever in anticipation of the pain that we feel. So we have to honor that. So whatever David is going through, there was some probably traumatic or environmental experience, something environmental going on that got her into, let's just now, what's it? created a climate conducive to her becoming addicted. Remember, climate, so environment, use whatever words you want to use there. You put yourself, birds are about to flock together. You hang around the lawn long enough for dogs, you're gonna get fleas. Y'all with me? I mean, you go, right? You get the point. So, Faith could tell a story, but I, just know that I heard the story, not her story, but the story, that situation, that scenario. I haven't, crazy issue. Dr. Alan Leshman, Cal State Berkeley, Dr. Alan Leshman, he's the head of the lead researcher across the nation, he's one of them. He talks about levels of vulnerability. We all have a level of vulnerability to addiction. We all do. Nobody's precluded from it. Even genetically, even me, I have no addiction from like 3 generations back in my family. But does that mean I can become addicted? Oh, I can store all the cocaine in the world. I can, shoot that, whatever. But that means I'm not going to become addicted. No. It just means I have a little less likely probability. But I can increase that probability real quick by engaging in substances. All right, so because you cannot have the discussion about addiction, so you sort without also honoring the influence, the impact, individual of nature and nurture. Yes, sir.
I think it's also like diseases and stuff too. Like, your family might not have no instance of cancer or something,
Yeah.
heart disease, and also you do because of various other reasons. And that because the individual is made up of many different. I mean, you look at your family history. You're not just your mom and dad. You're like your grandparents and great grandparents. It keeps going. So, things show up like mine. There's a long history of addiction and that. And so I avoided. I ran from alcohol and things like that because I saw what was happening in my family. But my wife will tell you I'm very addicted to my phone and to potato chips and other things. And so to me, see, I rationalize that, that's okay. Because that's not the same as this. But the fact is, it is. Because it affects my health, it affects a bunch of other things. But it's the same thing. I'm getting some kind of, I'm getting a feel good because of looking at this phone and getting a little feedback or whatever. And so we try to say, well, that's not drinking, that's not smoking dope, I'm not shooting up. Yeah, I'm not doing that. But there's other addictions. So we have to be careful. You start pointing the finger at other people. Guess what? There's about 3 fingers that are coming back at you on other things that you don't see. You're overweight, you're this or that, you're worried about stuff. You're addicted to other things, unfortunately, and you might not see it. And that so it involves a wide variety of things that we have to be careful about.
So know yourself disease. We're all disease. That's what Harry just said. We're all disease, and we don't have time. I can't to take any of my children forward to tell them about their diseases, or my wife, or my parents, or anybody else. My time is all invested in trying to figure out me and working on me and keeping me as healthy as I can. And then I'll assist anybody I can. I'll provide support, encouragement, or whatever anybody else, any other disease that somebody's struggling with, around me. And they know that they can feel it. I don't even tell them, right? They don't have to tell them, but they can feel it. That limbic system can feel it. It's like like some of you walk upstairs, right? You can feel it. So, man, great work as a group. Now we're going to do some more great work. Ready? And that is on page 11. You see there, culture of substance prevention professional. So you watch the video, and then on the middle part it says training facilitated experience. I'm gonna do it again. Ready? It's gonna be quick though. Okay. Now I like to take time to write down charts. So I want to now finish with this. I think y'all got enough. Been filled up to some degree with 3 levels of culture. Then I want to spend the last little bit of time, 40 minutes, whatever it is, going over some of these other pages. Okay, kind of picking and choosing, and then kind of getting me a little bit more like like dessert. All right. And then you'll be able to be, kindly and gently, part of that, right? So, all right. So, what is a culture of substance professional? What does that look like? I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to tell you all go to the next page. I'm going to answer the struggle. I'm going to give you the answers. There it is. Now, notice though, what underpins the attitudes and behaviors? What is, that's right, say it, say it. The four main emotional intelligence. So look, I can have all the positive attitude. I can assume all the ignorance. I can use the Bible. I can know all that. I can know it all. But if I am not practicing my emotional intelligence, I am not controlling my emotions. All of those skills that can be nothing. And I do witness, I have witnessed people. I look as a trainer. This is also what I see as a trainer. I see people I'm training. They come to me and they have knowledge of training skills, but they don't know how to manage their emotions. They don't know how to focus themselves and get their. They're so concerned about themselves, knowing all the content and everything. Right? They made a mistake. Okay, good deal. They made a mistake. You follow me? Their focus is wrong. The focus needs to be on your learners. That's your responsibility. Great climate conditions for them learning. Are they comfortable? Are they being heard? Are they being moved through what's called the inner process? Group process. Are they being moved that way? Or are they stagnant? Stuff. It's your fault they're stagnant. The problem is they got the wrong focus. The reason why the wrong focus, they're not controlling their emotions, and therefore it's doing them in. And of course, the last thing was the last time they admit that, because they admit that makes you vulnerable. Do you like to be vulnerable, judge? So I cannot underestimate, and you're telling to it up. No, before the main emotional health. I think the attitude, behavior take care of themselves. I think naturally in us, those behaviors will come out. Being positive. I believe if you work for main emotional intelligence, you're going to be positive. That's PMA, positive attitude. I believe if you were practicing the main emotional intelligence, you're going to be accepting and professionally judge or assessments. Or if you want to say non-judgment, say non-judgment. Okay, it's not to be non-judgmental without practicing the four main emotional intelligence. Empathetic, don't do anything about that. Compassion, don't do anything about that. No. Assumed ignorance. Whose ignorance am I saying you assume? Ignorance about them. See, I'm not ignorant. I'm not ignorant about the material. I'm not ignorant about my practice in social work. I'm not ignorant about my understanding of neuropsychology. No, I'm very adept at that. But I'm ignorant to your life. I'm ignorant to Faith's story. How do I find out about Faith's story? I have to sit there and listen to it. And accept it. And receive it. And honor it. And appreciate it. Patience. Patience and attitude is not skill. It's easily understood. You look at people like my father, who was very patient fishing, but then when we come home, he has spend time with grandchildren, he's extremely impatient. It's a matter of value. He values fishing more than he does spending time with grandchildren. PMA, positive attitude, platinum rules treat us the way they want to be treated. The golden rules treat us the way you want to be treated, that's the problem. Go get someone to treat well. The platinum rule treat us the way they want. Now, how do you do that? You gotta listen, observe, and ask questions of interest to them. Did you check that? You see that? You see the connection there? The platinum.
bad.
The platinum rule is treat others the way they want to treat them.
I just match energies.
Positive than attitudes. Are you be fun with it? No, you're not. Positive side. Watch a baby. A baby only 2 years to do it's spotless. So there's a lot for y'all to absorb around the limbic system. That what I call baby honest. And what's it? Absorb shape. I look at it once. But there's correct timing. Direct one correlation between understanding the limbic system and all its functions and abilities and being emotionally intelligent. Your emotional intelligence will be greatly complemented by knowing full well your limbic system. Your baby brain, I call baby. Remember, do you know why I call baby brain? Because it's all part of your brain fully functions when you're born. The only part of your brain is fully myelinated, fully working when you're born. And it means it's survival. Some people nickname it survival. Right? The other brain, the first brain actually develops with your brainstem. That's the first brain develops. Yeah, that brain develops very living. So that's the brainstem. The reason is the brainstem is responsible for Spice is responsible for temperature regulation and breathing. And the connection between the brain and the spinal, right? That's a very important thing too. But so if your brain stems, if you doesn't develop right, you're still, you're dead. But that brain develops, everything's working. Then the next brain develops the limbic system. And then the next brain develops after that is neocortex. So see how it goes from brainstem, the limbic system, to neocortex. And it's only the action of the limbic system, the baby brain, and the neocortex working together that you develop maturity. What gets in the way of you developing maturity? Drugs and trauma. Y'all see all the ties in? You see all the ties in here? And what's the antidote to drugs and trauma? Emotional intelligence. Because what's at the basis of drugs and trauma? Emotions. See, isn't that beautiful? I think I'm seeing it, and y'all are seeing it. You see it. Oh, too, by the way, the brain picture not works. Now, what you see is not the words. What you're seeing is the behaviors. I'm describing drugs, you're seeing drugs, and trauma, you're seeing trauma. Now, if you've never seen trauma, those of you that have seen trauma, y'all are experiencing something different. Just like right now, I said, everybody look, think of an elephant. If you've never seen an elephant before, you'd be like, what the hell is an elephant? It is. Or if I said, look at, tell me about what you know about me, it's hair syndrome. Most people here are like, I have no clue what that is. It's actually a intentional manifestation of a child having multiple broken bones. So it's like a brittle bone disease. Okay, now I know that because I used to investigate child recently in the state of Georgia, and I didn't know that because there were cases where children had multiple breaks, and it was not because the parents were maltreating them, it's because they had these hair syndrome. But see, if you don't have that information, you think, well, oh, they broke all the bones. A lot of people, unfortunately, they're getting the wrong information, they're getting the wrong source, the wrong intention. So why do I want you to know about the limits? So I can just like talk about stuff that I like, no. I want you to know what limit system is, and it's not that. They didn't appreciate emotional intelligence. They didn't have a tremendously different impact on. And you can't control your emotions because you know what's coming from. And so now when you start acting up and you start getting anxious, then the adult brain can tell baby, I'll put arms around you. We'll give you some breathing. We're going to focus on positive things. We're going to be thankful. See how the baby brain talks to the adult brain talks to the baby brain. See that? See, when drugs are there, what happens to that relationship? Because what happens is after drug binge, what happens is the baby brain goes, oh, I'm such an idiot. And then the adult brain says, yeah, you are. I can't believe you did that. Look, I thought you were supposed to take care of it. I thought you were supposed to be in line. You fool. You know what? You're not even going to live anymore. Y'all with me? Is that true? Am I speaking the truth right there? There it is. You say, well, I have multiple voices in my head. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. That's the baby brain when you go back. The baby brain has multiple personalities. Multiple voices. And sometimes it does the adult brain. So you can have 6 voices in your head. Right? God talks to people like that. Particularly if you've been sexually abused, in order to survive, they disassociate, they become different people. Yeah, you've not experienced that. Yes, very powerful. All that's happening in the limbic system level. So again, this is a slide that actually is embedded in my cultural competence and health professional beyond the race of your country of origin. I do a 6-hour training on just that, on cultural competence and health professional. This is the centerpiece of that training. But you just got it in whatever 15 minutes. That's on page 12. The next one's on these are additional frames. Well, this is like now you've gotten the end blue. Okay? And these are the credits. These are each one of these is like an hour. I'm gonna give you like maybe a minute on each one. Y'all ready? The first one is get PCC certified. The first one is get PCCG certified. I encourage, maybe even challenge each one of you to take this initiative. Just go ahead and do the QR code, store it, and then when it comes upon you, it's like, okay, then go to the website, type in your email, have already sent you the introduction stuff, and then know that I'm here to help you, and Gary's here to help you to process through it. It is one of the most, I have 5 professional certifications. My ICPS is one I love the most. My training certification is great, one, but my ICPS is my most prized possession. I'm also results-based, certified results-based lawyer. Great certification acts, like 50 is the nation, that is specific, certification in called result-based certification. Wonderful, but that doesn't come close to ICPS. See, yes, I can impact an entire community. With RDF, it's just usually the leadership. Let me see this, attempting to stop something from happening, remember the stand and sit? That was that. Okay, I just happened to move that up, I kind of sensed that this group needs that experience. So I gave you that experience instead of waiting to hear, okay? The 5 steps of change process, y'all wanna know what they are? Okay, first of all, think about it. 5 steps of change process process, first you gotta think about it. The second step is you gotta be motivated. Okay, by the way, commercial, the 5 characteristics of emotional intelligence, the middle one is motivation. There's a reason for that. Many people, because of COVID, this is my perspective, this is what I've observed. Because of COVID, the lockdown, they've lost their motivation almost like, just like they've been leveled. And then when you talk about that isolation, all that stuff, that's not even about too deep right now. Yes, there's a massive relationship there. So think about it, motivation, plan, execute the plan, and evaluate. Those are the 5 steps, the change or the success process. It's ingrained. It's ingrained. Once you get it ingrained in here, and then overlay on top of that, emotional action underneath that is emotional intelligence. So when I'm going to change my life, what do I do first? In emotional intelligence, domain 1 is self-awareness. The first step in the 5-step change process is what? Self-assessment, self-awareness. You see the tie-in. Now, the 5 characteristics of emotional intelligence, the middle one is motivation. However, I know the change process, I got to be motivated. No matter what I think. How many right now are thinking about making a change? At least one. How long have you been thinking about it? A year, 2 years, 2 days, 6 months, 5 years, 10 years? What do you like? More like it's motivation. And motivation stands for mode of action. Your motive of action. That's why they call it a reason or a purpose. Motivation. Now, sometimes I think, I'm your motivation. Well, I'm maybe inspiration, but I'm not motivation. Your motivation. The problem is you're looking for motivation in somebody else. It's not in somebody else, it's in you. Who's ever heard of motivation is an inside job? That's why. Self-awareness, think about change, motivation, plan, excellent. The plan and evaluate. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Again, the GNCP conference, I'm gonna hit that hard. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We're all knowing about a big bundle of needs. Would you agree? Some of you all had a need about 20 minutes ago to leave. Right? Maybe it's an hour ago. Right? Is that true? Nobody here is ready to leave an hour, 20 minutes ago. How many ready to leave right now? Come on, nobody's ready to leave right now. Well, the office has something really hard to go to. What did you tell them? Oh, they stay all time.
I got the door locked.
The
doors are locked.
Mark. Face, yeah. All right. So Maslow's hierarchy needs. What would you like to know about that? How many of you know about it? If I said right now, you gotta get out of here and get $1,000, you gotta write the pyramid and you gotta fill it in. How many people do that? Okay, good. We'll take a stab. What's the bottom? Let's, as a group, y'all, group, take a stab. I don't think I have it. Do I have it in here? I didn't put it in there. Okay, that's fine. Hey, y'all draw a triangle. Draw a triangle. It's called Maslow. Hey, y'all can cheat. Y'all can cheat. Use your tools. Go to Google. Google Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Let's improve. Hey, collectivism. Let's work together. Say, y'all ready? So whoever gets to it first, name the first wrong. Yes, what's the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Physiological needs, food, water, shelter, and watch this one now. Air. I don't know if it has in there, a lot of them don't, but Frankel does. Y'all ready? Air. Now, what do I mean by air? I mean the environment. The environment you're in. See, I can listen, I can give you food, water, and shelter here, but if I create the wrong air, watch this, it's huge. I create the wrong air of expectation. See, I expect y'all. You know, I was in a household, we didn't have money, we didn't have a lot of food, we had no clothes. I mean, I wore hand-me-down literally until I was like a my own clothes. I had 3 older brothers. So I literally hand-me-down underwear. I'm not kidding you. I'm not telling you a joke at all. This is not funny. I'm not trying to be funny. You think it's funny, fun. But shoes, socks, underwear, belts, everything. I think I got even like hand-me-down toothbrushes. Okay, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm serious. Look, there was studying us. My dad made $600 a month when I was like 1967. So you back. I mean, you had a mortgage. You know, dad had a mortgage. You know, we had a car. They had a car on station wagon. Okay. Yeah. So you are sheltered. Watch it. Watch it. My parents are sheltered. Yeah. You know what I had? The air was vacation. My mom and dad, my dad said, it's happening or better, or Columbus, Georgia, or wherever you work, where we're at, you're gonna do something in your life. You're gonna be successful. My dreams. I beg from you. Because all my parents cared about, my dad in particular was Department 80. He did not care about A, B, C's, or D's. He said that's subjective. So see the air I was living in? See, I was being taught to be emotionally intelligent very young. I didn't know that, never told me. But the biggest thing is expectation. See, if you expect people not to fly high and you expect, you're Mexican and you're whatever, right? No, gosh, so sad. And it's true. Very sad situations. Very sad. Not being able to eat, and that's sad. I'm saying you should be compassionate. But we also say, you know what, we expect you to make fly. We're going to help you. We're going to do what we can help you. But you got to do the work. So remember, that first one was what? Food, water, shelter, and air. The next one was what? Trust me, security, safety, security. Remember the limbic system. It's constantly going what? Trust, mistrust, trust. And then the next one. See, before that, you're underwater. Then when you pop up top of the water, you're like, whoa. Now you're what's happening? Self-esteem, significance of belonging is where significance of belonging. Remember that baby brain? It loves significance of belonging. See, when y'all want to stay, and y'all like what I'm doing, I'm like, my baby brain goes, significance of belonging. Now, if y'all decide you're just gonna get up and leave, like, what the heck, bonehead, my baby brain, you know, I'm strong. It takes a little bit. Y'all with me? I'm not so significant and belong. And the next one. What? Okay, the next one is self-actualization. Is that wrong between that?
You do self-esteem over.
Self-esteem, okay, then the top is self-actualization. Now, the beautiful thing about self-actualization is it's elusive. And it's also, to some degree, it's subjective. I let people tell me, my gosh, did you? They just say, basically, describe myself, you self-actualizing. I'm like, okay, to you. To you. And if you do even recognize yourself as self-actualizing, appreciate that. It's like just like getting to the pinnacle of Mount Everest. You can't breathe there long, right? You need a lot of help to breathe. You ever watch those people that scale to Mount Everest, get to the top, and whatever, and they take pictures and everything, and they cannot wait to do what? Get down. Get down from here. That's right. They want to get down and do what? Food, water, shelter, breathe, air. Same thing here. All these athletes, unfortunately, he did, you heard about him? Okay. He is one that, the Hollywood, right? He lived in the limelight. Oh, self-actualizing man. Woo. Okay. Now it's happening. Oh my. That's right. Because when you artificially live in this bubble of like, oh my God, there's P. Diddy, or there's Swift, what's her name? Taylor Swift. Family life today, I don't see the she can do the, she eats and drinks and sleep like I do. Okay, good, she's good at singing or something. Okay, good, I'm good at building house. I bet she can't take care of you when you get sick. I bet she can't, whatever. And again, nothing against Taylor Swift. Nothing against you or anybody else, but you know what? Hey, we gotta stop this artificial inflation like some kind of like significant person. You're no more significant. Y'all be more significant than her. But I mean, so you make music. Okay, great. Or I'm in football. I love football, I love football. I love my house. But kids could walk in here right now, and I say, "Excuse me, sir, I know you play football, not football, so basketball here, or whoever, right? I love that. And I think they're incredible athletes, but they're football players. They play games. But we put, it's like, oh, I gotta get his jersey. That's not great. But we have one wife, or so, none times, right? They're doing stuff that's none. But they have a wrong perspective on self-actualization, living life and serving people, right? Faith running. I talk about faith running, of course, right? Again, I've had many slides on faith running, when we're done at GSP, I'll talk about faith running a little more. ELC and ILC. You remember what ELC and ILC is? ELC is external locus of control, and ILC is internal locus of control. Again, this is a frame that if you understand it, things are like amazingly clear. Like people in your life or in your family, they're like everything always happens to them. You know why? Because they have external locus of control. See, I make things happen. As an internal locus of control person, I make things happen. If something happens to me, well, things just don't happen to me. I put myself in the position for things to happen. Now it sounds a little, I don't know what you want to call it. Okay, but it is what it is. If you live in an external locus of control, there's always somebody or something you want. Do you agree? That literally defeats. See, if I say Eric is the reason why this training failed, who has the power? You have the power, Eric. If I say my doctor's the reason why I'm ill, I'm sick, because they prescribe me the wrong drugs, I'd say, well, then your doctor has the power. I say, as a prescription drug prevention guy, one of the best advice I can give people, if your doctor prescribes you something, whose responsibility is to make sure that the right drug yours. Who's responsible for your health? You. So to say the doctor is responsible, now they did surgery on you, your own operating theater, and they cut your liver out instead of your pancreas. Obviously, that's a different story. Right? Don't take me wrong here.
I don't know who malpractice. You'll be good if you're malpractice. You'll be good if you're malpractice.
Say it. And oftentimes people doctors ever make mistakes.
Yeah.
We probably call it method. But they're seeing that just like I'm teaching me. Do I make mistakes? Of course. Doctors make mistakes too. Sometimes they cost people their lives. So it's a very serious situation. So we need to need to say, do I really need, in the case of me a few years ago, do I really need blood pressure medication? Or do I need to learn how to calm myself down? Do I need to learn how to breathe? And guess what happened? No drugs, learn how to breathe, lost a little bit of weight, and lo and behold, go back and they say, you're like on 20, whatever. Okay? So that's sorry. Well, that's amazing. Okay. So what's going to happen now is, okay, with your permission, I'm gonna skip over. What is this? I'm gonna say this. How does these happen? I'm gonna skip. That's the video. You got the link, okay? So I'm just gonna go right through to the slide. Go right through to the slides. So these slides, okay, y'all can follow along with me. This is, but I don't think I have a slide, the back. This is on 15, so on 16. Oh, okay, yeah, on 15. I do have this, look. So that right there, that video is broken down into that right there. You see that? That's actually on page 15. You see that? Alright, so the three legs of this stool of validation happens are one, a lot of coping. Two, poor coping skills. Three, brain chemistry. So I'm gonna go through quickly the slide on each one of those. I'm not gonna show the videos. Y'all can watch those offline. So y'all ready? And y'all keep up with me, 'cause I think I have pages for each one of these slides. So this is on page 15. I would use my clicker and be out of the way, my clicker's not working. And I don't have anybody problem. We're gonna see it's not working. So I'm gonna stand it here. Alright, so coping. So the first of the three legs is coping. When you're talking about addiction, substance disorder, the first problem is you have a lot to handle. Now, okay, so let's say for instance, Sonny's got X, Y, Z. She said that's a lot to handle. But then Harry, he's got X, Y, Z, EQ, X, Y, and he says, well, that's not a lot to handle. So who decides if it's a lot to handle? Individual. That's right. So it's like, I can't handle this. You got one task. You go, well, they can't handle it. That can be enough to send people into the next thing, right? Which is an emotional breakdown. So they don't handle it well. And then they don't handle it well, and what happens? They go to use, oh, you know what, Sonny, you just need a glass of. And you know what? I want this wine. And you need, that's what you need. This wine club. It is cheap. And you know what? We get together, sisters, cut cheese, and we eat crackers and talk about stuff. You know, and we drink all right. And sometimes we drink so much we have to stay overnight. So we get a hotel. And then we get trips like every 6 months, like the wine countries. Y'all see what's happening? Now, this is her being overwhelmed is being replaced with significance and belonging. See how it sneaks in there? And so Sonny feels isolated. So now all of a sudden that baby brain right also avoid pain is now artificially, or maybe even directly, realistically, experiencing pleasure, significance and belonging. She's being applauded. Like, way to drink that one. Sit right. Am I right? I'm not, look, I'm not just saying this, I'm saying the same thing happened with men. Men get together, that's like a glass of wine, dude, you ain't done nothing to you, drink a keg, and you funnel two of them upside down. With your right foot in your ear or something, right? Y'all with me? See how that happens? UGA game this weekend, Alabama UGA. Most of the people are gonna go.
Go Gators!
They go there. Most of the people. I asked them, how many yards per first down? You did say? Okay, well, not most of them. Most would say what? I asked them, how many yards across the field? No, not long ways, sideways. See? You know, how many of you know there's a left-handed football? There's no such thing as left-handed. Okay, see, but I as a former football player. Hey, Chief, I'm like, okay, well, how many goes the first day? Well, it was the first day. So, listen, the game was nothing about the game. The game was about what? Drinking, partying, associating, belonging, being a part of Roll Tide. You know, there's the Roll Tide there, we're all the same house. They're married. And for that weekend, they hate each other. All right. But based on what? Game. Okay. So sometimes it's fun. Oh, like the annoying neighbor, the annoying spouse, or whatever, right? So that's enough to make people drive to do stuff they wouldn't do normally. Like code. Remember, we're talking about coding. We're talking about lack of coding skills. Then leads to what? Disease. See, the disease is the disease of what? Pain and pleasure. Well, that's the disease. And we all have it. I don't have a personality. I'm like, what was they talking about? They're like the addictive person. I said, no such thing. That's totally made up. Totally made up. So emotions, we were talking about yes, right? All emotions. All emotions can lead you in a good direction or in a destructive direction. Are we all agree with the crisis of mental health? And what's the mental health crisis? Pain. Pain. We're not in the mental health crisis of pleasure. We're in mental health. So we gotta get good dealing with what? And also, I'm really good at saying, you know what? Let's celebrate our pain. I celebrate my pain. I accept it. I acknowledge it. I embrace it. Because the more I fight my pain, mental and physical, see, all it does is right down the left toes. Why? Because I've turned into L4, L5. And me standing up too long is not good. And me sitting too long is not good. So it's, right now, I'm pain. But do you care? I'm sure now you care, so that's what you said. Right? But do you really care about that? No. Because you got your own butt hurt, right? Whatever. So there's negative emotions that create pain. Would you agree? Now, like when you get stressed out financially, most people their stomach hurts. Right? Look at the pain chart. There's a lot of science behind research behind this that shows that basically your pain, your emotion creates like you have a headache, stress. What's that? Yeah. So now there's one. If you Google this, you Google pain charts or body pain charts. There's like 5 different versions. One of them has 12 different points. One of them has 6 different points. So I mean, just hey, there's good conversation. But the point is, right, that your emotions can manifest themselves in realistically in pain. Now, some people call this psychosomatic. Psycho meaning your psychology, and soma meaning your body. So, how does your soma, your psycho, affect your soma? I mean, there are people that literally can think themselves sick. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Lots of them. And they're really sick. They're not faking it, they're sick. What about that? Is that just like boom, boom, boom? Wow. Remember the 5 steps to change process? Change is fun. See, once you get into working change, it's like I can wait for the next change. It's the next project. Good watch this. You just accomplished everything you ever wanted. You don't need to change at all. You're just perfect exactly the way you want. I would say you're done.
Yes.
So to celebrate the fact that you get to change, isn't that amazing? That's great. Name another organism that can actually can change like us. Do that time.
Salamander.
Can anything else? No, but I'll tell you who's one. Because that thing right there. So 4 coping skills. This is a great little video. It's like a minute, 2. Did y'all see that? What's literally coping skills for the kitchen. Yeah, this one. It's really shooting different situations.
Yeah. Fill in the blank. Usually folks don't say different class. I mean, in my teacher, but I need to. We're talking about service is I need a drink. It's using substance to help manage even everyday substances. These are some of those behaviors that you're unwittingly participating in lead to problematic misuse of alcohol or substances that we need to be aware of. When we do not build coping mechanisms or skill set under very stressful situations that are internal and not resource. Yes. Substances, that's when we really start to develop some big patterns for.
You notice she's with the this coffee form. So that's good stuff. She's one that does like policy. She enjoys it. And again, I love people like it. I'm just not one of those, okay? But I know what you like, what you can sell them. I love my policy. I'm on every Friday. I'm on what's called the Georgia Mental Health Policy Partnership Call. It's with these big decision makers and policy makers. And I'm there to give them information they want around this kind of stuff. Because they're going to try to create policy that supports this. They don't know what I know. So I got to help them know what I know so they can see that it really will work. Right? I think people would accept policy instead of have a policy and we're going to support and build emotional intelligence in every community, regardless of race, creed, country, or religion, regardless of your sexual orientation. It doesn't matter. We all need it. Because I guarantee you, I'm in a society, I'm in a situation, I'm in an environment where I'm taking my inventory. I don't have time to take your inventory. That's what emotional intelligence does. Could you imagine having a school, take your school system, right? The one that your grandson plays in, right? Think about that school system. Every day, go to school. And the teachers and administration, along with the students, they will start the day and give them a 5-minute song sentence. And then during the day, they have mechanisms where they're having trouble coping, managing their emotions. There's systems set up to support them. Not because they're Mexican, not because they're identified as a troubled kid, but because healthy kids become healthy at some point. You know what I'm saying? When people become unhealthy, they don't become unhealthy in one moment. So we have a system in place that when you first start to stumble, the system of other students and compassion. Not because you've been identified as but that can't be your problem. I like that. What's your commitment now? Well, I wasn't like that before, but I'm like that now. My daughter just died. And maybe come to school and take an exam. But maybe come take the exam, I care less about it. If I came to school, and this one of those kids from school, come to school, the dog just died, you come to them, and the mechanism in play, they're going to go to teacher and say, listen, my dog just died. My 15-year dog. I'm taking the exam tomorrow. This is called coping. This is called self-management. You see what happens there? Now, what happens is all the other kids, now obviously we can't, they can try to play the system, and if they lie, that tells you something too. If they're lying and saying that the dog died, that's another discussion. We have a discussion of that. Well, child, I wouldn't say that untrue statement. There's something else underlying that kid needs some kind of attention. See, it's not punishment. Well, you hear that? It's not punishment. I'm not interested in punishing anyone. That's the problem too. We got too much system set up for punishing people. Now, there are people that need to be punished. This is unfortunate, but our society is eat up. We love to punish. Let's build systems where you're celebrating for prevention. Or saying I'm really out of my space. I'm just angry. I just need to spend. I need to go today. I need to spend time in the private room. So private room, and that's what I'm going to go to school. And it's nothing anything else. I'm just not doing some stuff. That's why I'm not kissing class. And the system, the school system sucks. Or take care of business. But what message that send the rest? Now, what these demonstrate? This demonstrate the main one, the main emotional intelligence, and social awareness and relationship management, all things from there. Now, how does it cost school? Nothing, because I'm not talking about programming. See, I'm talking about institutionalizing the 4 domains like anything else, like the Bell Station. Now, what's it take? It's going to take a different way of thinking. So these are negative coping skills, and that's amazing. I put it there purposely. It's like I can't read good. That's the whole point. It's so overwhelming. So I talk about emotional intelligence coming later. Of course, y'all already got it. And then brain chemistry. That's a great video. You want to watch that video?
Addiction in drugs such as alcohol, heroin, and cocaine.
Okay. So here's some of my favorite slides. Okay, my favorite slide. Time.
6 minutes.
6. So this all makes sense. You're going to talk about this. See? No, board brain and counter brain. This is slide on that. Okay, page 17. Got it? So there it is. This is on page 17 also. This is I've already talked about, I think everything on the slide at least once. Now I'm talking about pain and pleasure. I'll talk about pavement, limbic system. So there it is in the middle, you see that A? That A, and the surrounding area, kind of an outward, like, okay, the core of the limbic system is where that says self-centered skeptical, that's really the core, where the A is right there. Who's ever heard of the hippocampus? Okay, that lays over top of the limbic system. There's another area called the VTA, the magnetic tagmatic area. I'm still saying it. VTA. And then the amygdala, who's over, if you watch that movie with, what's his name? He talks about the amygdala, Bogman Goss or something. Dolly Madison, not Dolly, something Madison or whatever. Waterboy talks about the medulla oblongata. That's the amygdala. He's talking about the amygdala. He said it like funny. But he's talking about the amygdala. He's talking about the emotions of the girl. Of course, the language people like this stuff. It's funny, like when I watch some of these stuff from videos, do this stuff, they're using terms that are really real in real life. Okay, we laugh at it, but that's what's wrong. The amygdala, with campus, CTA, and thalamus, and then of course you see the prefrontal cortex up there. There's that big neocortex. Now the reason why it's called the neocortex, prefrontal cortex, it's called the neocortex because it's the newest one. NEO is new, it's the newest of all three. And it's the first one to die, by the way. When you go to have Alzheimer's, brain diseases, it's the first one that goes offline. The last one to go offline is actually a brain stem. But the second to go offline, that's why Alzheimer's patients, Alzheimer's dementia patients will like pee in the kitchen or they'll throw pepper tantrums. The reason is because they're only half a baby. Does it make sense now? Doesn't it? All that comes together. It's like, whoa. So the prefrontal cortex, the rational, the big part of the brain's not working. It's the brain's way of like pruning, of getting ready for that. Risk factors, this is on page 17. That's on page 17, characteristics of substance use disorder addiction. This is on page 19. I'm just going to tell you, this is on page 19. You can look at this continuum. And then there's a nothing rule. Remember the nothing rule? There it is. And then I go through each one of the continuum right here. Okay, I'm trying to get to something. So before y'all leave, if I can, so I'm just going to skip you that. That's all that is good stuff. But again, it's just I'm just covering the continuum and just talking about how prevention is present in each layer of the continuum. Primary prevention, secondary prevention, tertiary prevention, recovery, aftercare, prevention is present in all of them. Remember, I already talked about that. There may be saying, it's good to do prevention treatment, but that prevents what? Yeah. Remember me saying that? Okay. So prevention is everywhere. How to prevent substance abuse relapse after rehab? Emotional intelligence. Good. So then my favorite section, remember I thought very start of this all. Remember they said solutions. Now I went to number 4. Here's number 4. But have you been taught or heard about those? Yes, definitely on emotional intelligence. You heard that. The one you haven't heard much about is integrated medicine. I do want to say a couple minutes about integrated medicine. When I'm contacted, I'll leave here, go home, I got some stuff to do, but tomorrow, so I'll be in my office tomorrow and Friday because of the cancellation of the training. So I'll be working on different things, different connections, different collaborations I'm working on. And typically what I hear from people, John, well, what do you propose we do? Just payment, academic issue, I said integrated medicine. I mean, emotional development, yes, but from a systematic standpoint, medical standpoint, we've got to get it, we've got to follow up. Specifically functional. There it is. Right. See that? And good medicine. Ready? The nice video. Right. We got to fall in love with medicine outside Western. Outside the medical model we're all experiencing. This overcomes. It is obvious. We have got, now do we want to flush, get rid of Western medicine? No. But we want to use the best in all the forms of medicine. The one that I'm promoting that I believe 100% is functional medicine. I want you to Google, not necessarily now, I want to whatever, but Google functional medicine. Functional medicine doctors. You'll be shocked. There is now a tidal wave of doctors that are MDs that are transforming their practice from Western medicine, rely on just medicine, to now the functional medicine doctors. And that they use medicine, but only as one tool of many in their tool bag to address disease. Watch this. There's not a prescription drug on the market that I know of, that I can use. There's something you find out that actually treats diseases. Treats the disease. Every prescription drug on the market that I know of, and again, if you know if you find out, I need to be informed, but every drug out there treats symptoms, not the disease. So it's like you're sitting in a chair right there with disease. I'm sitting here with disease. And you just give me drug after drug after drug, and what's happening? I'm just treating symptoms. My foot's hurt. Okay, let me give you something you don't even know. I got stomach problem. I got really bad stomach, acid reflux. Yeah, when you go, it's still, you're just not gonna feel it. You're just not gonna know it's there. And then another, because I can't go to sleep. And another drug because I can't wake up. Another drug because I can't have sex. Another drug because I can't eat or I eat too much. You know what I mean? And we all the time are just willing to spend it. Why? Because unfortunately, our brains are like, they want to the least amount possible to get by. And if we have an alibi to be told, here, just take this, and I'm a doctor, after all. I went through, 8 years of school, 10 years of school. They do, they're very smart. One of my nephews, very intelligent doctor, AUD, Alabama up there, he's at ADU, whatever. Right? But he's now becoming a functional medicine doctor. And it's a lot of the younger ones, not the old ones. The old ones are still stuck in the way of Western medicine, right? They made, made a lot of money, done well, they probably helped a lot of people, right? But now the young ones like, we've got a lot of little people that like functional medicine and also holistic medicine, but primarily functional. So I just go through each one of the different kinds of medicine, and then I end up in functional medicine. And then the last thing here for you is the call to action. Okay, so the first call to action is to you as professionals. And as you look up there, I think I have a slide, copy the slide on page 28, 21, 28, 28, 28. Okay, you see that? Okay, so that's a call to action for you as a professional. Now, as you look at that, that should look familiar, doesn't it look familiar? It's a call to action on everything you covered in 3 hours. Thank you. Okay? But then the next one is a call to action for your community. Now, if it's a big word for 2 letters, if that this call to action, take it seriously, I believe, I know, without a doubt, you will see drastic changes within a year or 2. And actually, even significant changes within 6 months. Now, I mean, even some things like drop-offs, medicine, that stuff. But I use those as a Trojan horse. I use that to gain trust so that I can do just like what I do with you guys, right? And that is to give you supportive, encouraging, loving, empowering message about, hey, this is, we are actually in the game. We're gonna win, but we're gonna win because all we want. We all take responsibility individually. We build our own emotional intelligence and we support those around us. It's that simple. Is it hard? Remember I said that prevention is what? The hardest thing you'll ever do, but it'll also be the most rewarding thing you've ever do in our life. It is easy for me to eat all the whole bag of chips. It is easy for me to eat all that fried chicken. It is easy. And in the moment it tastes great. In the moment. But the lingering aftereffects, prevention, are better than the lingering aftereffects of that greasy fried chicken or all those addictions. We can all agree. So with that, I say thank you, thank you, thank you. I think my last slide is a big super thank you. And then I have a connect. And with maybe asking for maybe 2 or 3 minutes overtime, y'all be willing to do this. And that is to go back to your chart. Go back to the chart. Well, right there, your results. That's the simplest chart of results I've ever, in all my places of doing training, I've never had a chart like that, okay? You know, I don't know what created, exactly created that, but it is what it is. So then what I want you to do, if you will participate, is simply go around the room and look at your result. Look at your result. I want your name tag. My result, your result. Hopefully everybody knows. My job is just so you that by yourself. And for me, all and for me, it's what that's all for you. And for me, I give myself 10 on accomplishing my result. If you want to talk about your results, you can't. No, you say that. If you like to say I got a 10 on accomplishing that, because I don't know exactly what I got. I know I got some stuff. I know I got some stuff on brain solution. But I just got a good feeling about what I do. And I'm excited about, watch it, I'm excited about me, for real. I'm excited about continuing to, plant the seed, build, hope and, you guys all say, build your prevention, build your prevention muscle. Anybody who's, here you. Anybody's, it's all empty, say your name and then what you got. I'm fine. Yeah. It's like you look at 10 and try one to one. Did you get? Thousands. Feel the something. Remember also, I'm fine, not that Theo said this, but it's your 10, right? You got a 10. Now, I mean, if you want to ask me, additional, it's definitely awesome to me, about whatever, that's great. I don't mind. Remember, the space I'm inviting you into talk about how you did, how you got it. Like, so this is great, presentation, because you think about how easy it is to sit in 3 hours of training. No, it's it was easy. But 3 hours of training locally, and locking in, that's why we were 10. Awesome. Appreciate it. Tell me I can continue Tara and Harry, continue doing this way, right? Okay. Okay, next.
Once we are all actually do and sequence because of the ones we don't learn how to remember. Going on, but it's the team, but in the interaction, they, but I have to move more consistently.
Yes.
But even though I learn. Tom, we went, you were, hey.
Well, I want you about yourself now. When I see a video make brain process, this is wants to get me enough, or wants to get this enough. I want you to know. I want you. You. Oh, that's fine. Fine. Remember, I always say, you want a number 4 for me, unless it's a 5. You're gonna want to say, heck, that was so much. Guys, it's not fun. This thing.
I'm saying, well,
Number 7.
but I still don't do some research.
Okay.
Back today.
Thank you. So where there's number. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Please.
Yes.
And eventually better than you killed. Once you learn those steps and the solution that you go, that you have to go through in order to get there. I thought that was very good, and also, the pyramid. Math,
But
law.
as those hard needs. Thank you, I'm gonna find that quote for you. Okay, next. Yes, ma'am, I'm gonna get it. Next, please.
I'm Sonny Rogers, and I really enjoyed today. I'm gonna say that I'm giving myself a 7, and I'm gonna take one. I want to go, and I want to start researching this emotional intelligence job. I said very early on that John mentioned, it's the single most predictor. And y'all have.
Yes.
We got
I was still taking great for it.
we got a nation. We have young.
Oh, true.
Thank you, okay, next.
Steve. So, Ian. Or.
Okay, so this, when we talk about 5 steps to change, you're talking about the 4 domains of emotional intelligence. Both, okay, so, okay. Motivation. No, I'm talking about motivation, how the 5 steps to change process, motivation is moving in the middle. And so is in the 5 characteristics of emotional intelligence, it's where, it's the glue, So if people want to be motivated, go, oh, well, I didn't say it. A lot of intelligent people, like my son's 130 something like you, 134 IQ, my oldest son, I'm like maybe 100 or something, okay? And I scraped 50 on SAT when 1600 was perfect, and that was after the 3rd time. So I'm not IQ, okay? But Jonathan, high IQ, but at 32 years old, will call me, Dad, I need your help. What's going on, son? I need your help to develop my emotional intelligence. And once he did that, and he's getting his master's in biomedical engineering in a year. What was stopping him was fear exposure. He was intelligent, but he didn't think he was intelligent enough to go to Georgia Tech and get a master's in biomedical engineering, which has been a dream all his life. Usually do that. So, motivation is his problem. That was the sticking part between him going to tech and not going. So now Jonathan is not only high flyer EQ line, but I can even high flyer EQ. I mean, I can brag on him, I'm sure I'll brag on kids, but that's a great example, living example. I live, I can share with you. Yes, the power of knowing that glue, that motivation, and how that clicks, how the 5 steps to change process motivation, and the 5 characteristics of emotional intelligence, motivation. You can know everything else. And high intelligent people typically are very good at domain 1 and 2, and not good at 3 and 4. Because they escape through life, they're so intelligent that everyone wants to be around them, so intelligent. So the social awareness, what you mentioned, doesn't have to exist because people want to come to them. And then they wake up in their 30s, usually. They wake up in their 30s. What I'm finding out, they wake up in their 30s, like, oh my gosh, I'm done being intelligent. I don't want to be intelligent. I want to connect with you. I want you know, have this ability for social isolation and we don't. So that's another great gift of emotional intelligence. If you have intelligent people in your life, they can look at the man. So next, is how more left, I think we're winning. Did everybody go? Okay, yes. Latan.
I mean, I think, lessons. Well, I think, we most of them, that, it is a tool that we already have.
Yes.
These have. That is a tool, and so I think good idea that it's when I go home and, research and see, you know, whatever I need to have to build this.
Right, on the last page, I think it's black, as you look, that's all, is everybody gone? Is everybody gone? And for me, everybody's checked out, okay, listen, on the last page. Like second to last page, right there, see that, thank you? It's got the let's connect. So I've heard a lot of you talk about things you're gonna go do, your research, okay. As you do your research, as you get your, you know, you have your insight, please email me and say, hey, not so I can say how great I am or what, no, so I can use y'all's examples and train us. So I can say, hey, you know, I won't use your name unless you tell me, yeah, I can use your name. But because I'm like, oh, he's just making that car show. But if I said Sunny gave me permission to say this, if she went as a family connection program, regional manager, and she went and she has now taken this and shared it with the rest of her region, and it's just like making market change in the way they interact and the way I want to be able to say that. I want to be able to report that to the state of Georgia. And they say, so watch it. If that happens, if y'all say that this is that valuable and it makes that kind of impact, then I'm gonna get, you know, more support from the state of Georgia, PhD, to, you know, all this other places. All of this remains the point. If it needs, so with that said, thank you very much. Oh, Billy Graham, that good?